sincerely the best value you'll ever find. I thought it already was a really good value, but now it really is. And a good Father's Day present. So here you go, ESPN690.com. Phil Mickelson got it done. I'm going to force you to talk a little golf today.
Old people and golf, my two favorite things. Can't wait.
It actually is. It's one of my favorite things about playing golf. I love just going over the course, not having anybody like in my group and getting matched up with a couple of 70-somethings. It's fun playing with the older crowd.
Yeah.
It really seriously is. Like, I really enjoy that. Like,
just from the conversations, or what do you?
Yeah, I think a little bit of conversation. Usually, you can outdrive them.
Sure. So it's a little confidence booster as well.
but no, they're interesting backgrounds. A lot of people of that age group, especially, are from other places.
Yeah.
Right. Didn't grow up here in Florida. So, it's I love that part of playing golf and getting to a course and teeing it up. But that was a heck of a scene. The one thing about it that struck me over the weekend last night, I don't know if it hit you guys the same way, is if you don't have to like golf, you watch that scene. It was pretty incredible. Kind of a la Tiger Woods Tour Championship in Atlanta when he really won his first tournament. Not the Masters necessarily, but he won his first tournament where they flooded the fairway, which was really an epic scene, right, in golf. And we got it again yesterday.
Well, I was going to say, watching that, I was like, I would be so uncomfortable if I were anybody actually playing that round. Mickelson kept – like, I was uncomfortable for them with how many people and how close everyone was.
Yeah. And I think that's a part of it. I think that's a discussion point.
Yeah.
And Koepka made it a discussion point, too, and it was no surprise that he was going to make it a discussion point. I knew it was coming. I knew he would say something about it. And I kind of get where he's coming from a little bit. But I'm just saying, yesterday, the thing that struck me from the whole weekend was that scene and then Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really did feel like a welcome back sports. Like, I know we've had the UFC. I know we've had, like, Texas, the ballpark, and Atlanta. They've had some filled stadiums.
Yeah,
we've had some crowds, right? Crowds have gotten back into it. But that crowd at Madison Square Garden in that game, because that was a really good basketball game.
Sure.
I mean, really, I can tell you this, haven't watched the Knicks or the Hawks play all year, and I was locked in.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So, that again, sports fan, that was a great atmosphere. Sports fan, you didn't have to like golf to appreciate what was going on at the PGA Championship in the final half hour there. So, it felt like, wow, the difference between having fans and not having fans, I don't know if we forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that just exacerbated it, but it felt like, hey, the pandemic is over, and welcome back, sports world. And fans, we missed you, we love you, we need you, because the reason why those games were elevated or those situations were elevated was all because of the fan and how excited they were. And fans really do matter in sports. I think we already knew that. I think we talked about it for the last year.
Yeah.
But I think yesterday was this great reminder of, man, the fans do make it.
Yeah, to me, it was a couple weeks ago when Canelo fought and AT&T was sold out.
73,000, right?
You had 73,000 boxing fans absolutely going crazy. But that scene, for the PGA Championship, that was crazy too, just because they all gathered to witness Phil Mickelson. Like they all gathered at the end of the hole, and it was cool to see. Like it's definitely, you definitely miss that kind of energy. Regardless of the sport, and I do agree with you, watching the Knicks last night, especially watching the Knicks lose, which is it's a tradition like no other, it seems like. It was cool to see. I mean, it's the next step in getting back to a sense of normalcy, I guess you would say. So yeah, it was cool to see.
I don't. What is another step? I don't even know. Like I don't. I think to me that kind of signified it, and maybe there is something else, right?
I think once tailgating is 100% back and all that
kind of
stuff.
Is that fair to say? Is it football? I mean, the way it is in our culture now?
You saw like the gatherings outside the NBA arenas last night. That they had like the watch parties. Those seem to be in full effect. So like that was another step towards the right direction. But yeah, I think tailgating, especially for football, because football stadiums are big, man. So once that comes back, I think we're fully back.
Yeah. Well, in American sports, I mean, the place where you put the most people in is usually a college football stadium.
Sure.
So you see the Swamp, or see Doak Campbell, or you see Tuscaloosa, or you see the Big House. Those with 100,000. Tennessee. You get those kind of crowds on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening in Tuscaloosa. Well, then it might feel even more. We'll get it ramped up one more time.
I'll say this. once fans can come back at max capacity to College game day, then sports will officially be back. Until that time, it'll be a little different. But until 100% fans are back at College game day, and Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit, hope you're listening, I will officially announce that sports are back.
That's
interesting.
How's that interesting?
But it's probably true. It
How
has
isn't
a
that the
feel.
truth?
Yeah, that does feel like normalcy.
I mean, isn't that tailgating?
Yeah.
Do you think, like specifically basketball, just because I'm thinking about it, maybe hockey too, like sports that are going through this whole pretty much play an entire season with no fans, and then all of a sudden fans are back for the playoffs, home field or home court or home ice, whatever you want to say, would be more beneficial this year than maybe previous years because they've gotten so used to not having that noise.
Yeah, I think it could, except last night I saw the Hawks beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
But I get your point. I do believe for the last year, I think home court advantage and all that stuff. And now the NBA last season was in a bubble, so there really didn't exist anyway. But I would say the way the NHL was playing in the bubble, and even football stadiums, it just didn't feel like there was home field, home court, home anything advantage. Yeah, sleep in your own bed, but we can't feel that. We can't measure that. I mean, we have no idea what's making a difference. I'll tell you what, on 3rd and 2 from the 7-yard line, I can hear those fans making a difference,
Sure.
So I think we will feel it, and there's almost like a newness to it. This is something that nobody's experienced in our lifetime. Like, we've never experienced the absence of it. Like, and it just kind of punched it home for me yesterday, how, you know what, we really did miss. I think it became so cliche to say it in the first few months. We're doing all these shows last year and in May and June, and there's nothing going on, and we're talking sports, and we're talking the pandemic, and we're saying, man, we missed this, and people say it became a cliche. But I think yesterday kind of felt like, and we've had the moments, like you said, UFC, if you were there, I think the boxing match, like 73,000, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people making noise.
Yeah.
That's an electricity. I think it just felt like it. And it jumped off the TV. See, the difference between the boxing match is like, well, not everybody was watching that on TV.
For sure.
You had to go get it.
Yep.
And so this jumped off the TV. If you had it on yesterday, it's like, I remember these days. And we're back. I mean, it kind of felt like we're back.
And like, as far as Madison Square Garden, was that max capacity? Or
No.
Was it? Yeah. So that's
I think I heard them say 15,000.
Yeah.
And I think 19 is capacity. I think is what I heard them say.
And that's kind of like the thing with the NHL too, where you might get a home ice advantage, but still, like I think Tampa Bay right now they're like at 30% capacity. So while it may make a difference, it's not back to 100% where fans are banging on the glass and it's that chaotic atmosphere. But once again, it's a step in the right direction.
And I'll say this too. Here's what else this should give us some confidence.
Yes.
This should make us feel a little bit more normal as a fan. This will kind of bring up the conversation we had on Friday. Like, what do you miss the most? The concert that's packed or the stadium that's packed? Well, here's what's happening. Barring some unforeseen setback now in our world with COVID-19, all these places that want to be full in the fall for football that have spoken about it, these concerts that are getting booked, well, it's going to be full throat. I mean, it's going to be full go. Like, that's what yesterday gave me the confidence. Like, okay, it really is back to normal. Like, hey, the kids are going back to school 5 days and all over the country. We're going to be going to concerts again. We're going to sports venues again. We're going to cover things. I'm sure there'll be some leftovers that will still feel like, hey, this was born in the pandemic, but not crowds. Crowds are going to be a thing. And so if you have season tickets to your football team, the Jags, I'd plan on using your tickets. I know they planned on having you, but now I think like days like yesterday gave me the feeling like, okay, well, it's happening. I mean, it really is happening, again, barring some unforeseen setback that we just can't see. One quick thought about, I don't want to spend too much time on the PGA yet. I want to talk a little Jags. OTA start today, too.
Well, we got Julio Jones as well with the big story.
And Julio Jones, yes, is a big story. Where could he end up, which we did discuss a little bit on Friday, I think it was. But the Brooks Koepka part of that is interesting. He's coming off a knee injury. And Steph was actually really watching it, was concerned for Mickelson. He really got, like a fan, really like tried to almost jump on his back, like in congratulations. Like, I love you, Phil, but he like yanked on him.
Yeah.
And she was like, I think he just got like hurt there. I was like, all right, Steph, that's being dramatic. He didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But the point being, you don't want fans touching the athletes.
No.
That seems unsafe. That has the I think the optics of being unsafe, being unruly. There was a fine line yesterday, my point of being, wow, that is awesome, and wow, this is dangerous.
Sure.
And I'm just, again, I'm in the awesome category because give me the moment, right?
Sure.
But I do get a little bit what Brooks was saying, Brooks Koepka, about like he's coming off a knee injury, he's getting bumped around a little bit. And I just think the PGA had to be very careful. The tour, that PGA Championship TV on CBS, overly celebrating that scene because I honestly don't think they want to see that scene at the end of every golf tournament or at the end of every major. I think that's something they're going to have to think about. You know, and I'm sitting there at home watching it, and Ty's like, well, what you going to do about it? You have like 50 cops. What are you going to do? There's so many people. I was like, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to make sure they do something about it if this thing gets out of control. Yeah. So you don't want to ruin it for the that scene is cool once in a while, but don't ruin it for like the rest of time. Is it a simple rope? I said, sooner or later they're going to have horses out there like they do at the end of the World Series. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. That is a lot of people to control in a unique setting to where to control it. So as cool as it was, I think PGA Tour officials, I think golf officials, sports officials, however you want to say it, I think they're looking at that like, hey, this was kind of cool moment, but we got to be careful here.
No, for sure. I mean, you definitely got to be careful because anytime you get that close to a professional athlete, who knows what's going to happen, you know? So you definitely have to be careful. I'm sure ropes or some kind of, I don't know if you say a barricade, but something will be, I think, propped up there to try to deter people from doing that. And if they do that, then obviously they get arrested on site. It's cool now because we're talking about it, and Phil Mickelson didn't get hurt. You know, like he didn't hurt his knee. If he would have got hurt, well, then it's a completely different story. And that takes away from that fantastic moment. He did, so it's all good. But, I agree with you. Regardless of the sport, I think you got to do a little something else to deter people from doing that.
Yeah, and, you know, I noticed somebody put a picture up. I think I retweeted the picture of Woods at the Tour Championship and the picture of Mickelson. And I think what I noticed in that picture was a rope. I think at the Tour Championship, and by the way, there might have been less people at the Tour Championship too, but the crowd that appeared to be massive, it might have been even more people, I think they were held back by a rope. I did not see that at the PGA Championship. I think I saw it on the side where Phil was hitting his last shot, but when it was coming down the fairway and everybody was kind of collapsing on the fairway, I didn't see that. It might just be that simple. It's like, let's make sure we have a rope to rope people off.
But at the same time, though, I mean, you got college football, you know, stadiums that have like barricades, you know, blocked up, and all of a sudden your team wins the last-second field goal or something like that, and they beat like the number 2 team in the nation. What are you going to do? You're going to storm on the field. Much to the chagrin of people announcing it, saying, please don't storm on the field. They're still going to storm on the field.
So and I kind of like it as a viewer.
Sure. So then you mix that atmosphere with a bunch of old dudes who've had a couple of Arnold Palmers with a little vodka in them, like, you know, when you're 3 or 4 deep. Yeah, I don't think they're really going to care about a rope or a barricade. So, like I said, I mean, it was a cool moment. I'm not sure if you can do it going forward. But once again, will this happen going forward? Like, it's got to be that this certain person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if Brooks Koepka does that, I don't think no one's really celebrating that so much.
I don't think so.
It's the story of Phil Mickelson. So, I mean, you can try to deter it all you want, but you got to take a look at it like that was a moment in time that was so rare where nobody saw it happening, where it was like, okay, we got to celebrate this because it is such a unique opportunity.
Yeah,
too.
and I agree with you but now we've seen it twice in the last 3 years. And while they've been exceptional circumstances,
you're talking about Tiger Woods
and now Phil, I just wonder if that becomes such a cool scene, you know what people want to do? They want to mimic it. They want to do it again. They want to be a part of it. You know why rushing on the field is a thing? Like, even if, like, you know, you were supposed to beat the team. Because it's a thing. And ripping down the goalpost became a thing. And so everybody wanted to do it all across the country. It wasn't just a one-time, two-time thing. So, again, I don't know. I'm not trying to get overly dramatic about it, but I guarantee you those questions are happening amongst tour officials and other players. And there are probably some venues where it's okay to do it more than others.
Yeah.
And I just don't know when that is. Like, I don't know if that will be the scene at Augusta. I doubt.
Once again, I think it just depends who wins it. Like, if Sergio Garcia wins, I don't think people are going to be storming the, you know, like, trying to get a glimpse of Sergio Garcia. Like, they're going to cheer for him, but it's not going to be like, crazy. Like, what's the guy's name? Oosthuizen?
Yeah, they wouldn't.
I don't think it's like, oh, okay.
No.
I can't pronounce the guy's last name. I'm not going to go cheer for him and tap him on the back.
And I agree with you. I think the circumstances were very unique. I mean, Tiger for the first time and Phil for maybe the last time in a time that was so unexpected.
For sure.
So I think you're right there. But we'll see what happens with it. Jags start OTAs. Hey, give us a little tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
They just went from phase 2, by the way, is the quickest one. That was last week on the field, and people were out there, and it was all the talk about participation and how many people showed up. And then Tebow, of course, flooded everybody's minds. He was on the practice field for a couple of days, but now it's OTAs. We know that, off-season training activities. I feel like sometimes we take it for granted. Like, people are like, okay, this is phase 3. Great. What the heck does that mean? OTAs, what does that mean? You lived it.
Yeah.
Like, as a football player going from phase 2 to phase 3, now OTAs, what does that mean for this football team?
Yeah, OTAs, it ramps everything up a little more now, right? Because we're going to have the rookies and the veterans there, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Everybody, still voluntary.
So still voluntary, but I mean, for the most part now, you can mix the rookies and the veterans. So it's another step up, which is fantastic. I think out of that rookie minicamp, those who participated, there wasn't any injuries that I know of. I don't think. I know Tyson Campbell. I think he was a little hampered before he got there. Was it though?
Well,
or was
I think he said the first day of that rookie camp, he kind of tweaked something
a little bit. So Tyson Campbell. We'll see where that goes going forward. But now it's a chance to ramp things up a little bit. You got 11 on 11. You start running those plays a little more. You start getting, it's not full speed, obviously, but you're on air now. And you just kind of see where guys are lining up and what it looks like so far. It's definitely far from a training camp. We're not going to be hitting anything like that. But it's the next step in that direction. And now that you have that veteran presence as well, things will get ramped up a little more, right? Because the veterans can handle it.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to me here, Austin, and this will have to be something that's talked about with players that know, and we'll see the reaction coming out of the league. But I think this, in my opinion, is the phase that got negotiated between coaches and players for showing up. The story out of Miami where Flores basically negotiated with the players, hey, there won't be as much exertion, but we really want you here. We need you here. We think it's a valuable time. Well, a lot of them showed up because of that. What did Urban Meyer say? We don't know exactly. Did they show up because it's new and they want to get off on the right foot or whatever the reasoning? But I think this is the phase that maybe in the past, I don't know how physical it's been. I understand it hasn't been a camp. It's not Oklahoma drills. It's not all that. But whatever the physical level was, or the exertion level was, I think this is the one that maybe we'll see a different of, or they'll feel a difference, not we'll see it, of it dialed back a notch or two. That's what I take out of this last couple of years where we didn't have the OTA period, where players are like, see, we can do this without this time and still play the game of football and have a good season and have quality play. But coaches in the league and everybody that's been negotiated in the new CBA says, hey, this is part of it. We want you here. We think this is valuable time. Well, I think this next couple weeks, these 10 OTAs, these 10 practices, I think that's where you'll see the negotiation feel maybe a little bit different as a player. I don't know that. I just think that could be the case.
So what I'm looking for in this session of OTAs going forward, it's all about making sure everyone's on the same page mentally. Because once again, you're installing a new offense. You're installing a new defense. And a lot of these guys that are going to be on the field these next couple of days, they've never played together before. So that takes time. That relationship takes time to build and grow. That's what I want to see right now. Because you better believe once training camp starts, like, guys are going to be expected to know the plays, all this stuff, and hit the ground running. Right now is where you can kind of tailor it a little more to be like, all right, this is what we're trying to do. This is why we're doing it. And let's address the situation. So to me, it's going to be a little more mental. Like, it'll be physical still. And, guys will be sweating. I mean, it's Jacksonville. It's
and the heat's turned up this week.
Yeah, so it's going to be a toasty one. But, look to be more mental of guys getting lined up properly, guys knowing their assignments, things like that. And by the time training camp starts, it's 100% 8-8 out the gate.
Yeah, and I will say this, and I said this about the kind of rookie minicamp too. I think this is just as valuable for this coaching staff right now.
Yeah.
By the way, like, who's coaching special teams? Even that with the Brian Schneider news of over the weekend, right? Or Friday, right when we got off the air. So I do think it's a valuable time for a new regime. Yeah. Maybe more so for them than even the players. That's debatable, but it's a big time for the coaching staff as well. What kind of storylines will we see? From Tebow to Trevor to who else? Did you see, like, Justin Blackmon out on social media?
Yeah.
You see that? caught my attention.
Let's make it happen, unquote.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk more about that. If you missed it, we'll tell you what you might have missed. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 here on a Monday. Glad to have you along. Hope you had a good weekend.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, mostly sunny and hot will rise this afternoon into the low 90s, then drop down mild tonight into the mid 60s with mostly clear skies. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back. Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beard's Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts now for their children and grandkids. So it's pretty cool to see that family tree grow.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years. Our non-commissioned sales associates are experts. They have only one goal: your complete satisfaction.
We have a 6,000 square foot showroom with anything and everything that you can want. Beard's Diamonds has been family owned and locally operated since 1981.
40 years later, it's still our goal to offer the largest selection of quality diamond jewelry at the best prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. The reason we can make that promise? As Beard's owners, we are on the floor helping you with your purchase. We have no corporate bosses setting the price. The chain stores can't touch our prices. They just can't.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com. Come in and see us. We'd love to help you. Anybody that steps foot in our stores is automatically a part of the Beards family.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Come on, don't do the socks or tie thing again for Father's Day. Get him the Dream 18 card instead. Discounted golf to 8 area courses, and now at the clearance price of just $45 while supplies last. Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River, Osprey Cove, Queens Harbor, Fleming Island, Eagle Landing, and Hidden Hills. It's the best deal in town for the best dad in town. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase. There's more too. Free shirt from Baker's, free hat from Dome Hats, free smoothie from Smoothie King. The best buy around, priced at just $45 on ESPN690.com.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It could be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Austin Lane.
I had braces. I still have my permanent retainer in. It's been knocked out twice.
Brett Martineau.
So it's not stuck in there.
No, it's not stuck in there.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
It's very exciting because I've had a few breakthroughs on being able to stay more present, be able to stay more focused, and physically I'm striking it and playing as well as I ever have, but I haven't been able to see that clear picture. So although I believed it until I actually did it, there was a lot of doubt, I'm sure.
That is Phil Mickelson, your 2021 Players Champ. I do love the stat. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's so many stats with Phil. He won in 4 different decades. 4 different decades. That is remarkable. Really remarkable. And also, Colin Morikawa won it last year. He's 23 years old. Phil's 51 almost.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool sport when that can happen. But, hey, being old isn't bad. Just ask Tom Brady. Just ask Phil Mickelson. You know what's funny is, like, in your sport, in MMA, there's a bunch of older guys that fight.
Usually depends on the weight class. But, yeah, I mean, the heavier weight classes, there's like guys in their 40s.
That's what stunned me about that.
The
That
former
feels
champion
like
was
a
like
really
in his 40s.
young person sport.
See, but the thing about heavyweights is the last thing to go is your power, so you can get away with it a little more. But yeah, there are older guys in MMA for sure, which is nuts because it's MMA. It's getting punched in the face and punch people in the face.
Yeah, and I'm trying. I mean, I think tennis is really tough on the knees, like what Federer and even Djokovic and Nadal have done this late in their career. I mean, when I was a kid, I was watching Jimmy Connors still play into his 40s. I think he was. He felt even older than that.
Yeah.
But he was, he'd have like one more run in him. Kind of felt like a Mickelson kind of run in him. But it's hard in tennis because that's a young person sport as well, and the knees don't cooperate usually in the hips and the joints and everything else in the sport of tennis. But it's just today's athlete. I mean, with what Phil said, if you want to work hard at it, if you want to take the right diet to it, do you see his fast schedule, 36 hours?
36 hours, yeah, man.
Should I hop on that one?
I mean, I would just recommend just eat 8 hours a day and then fast for the other 16, but do what you got to do. I feel like not eating for a day and a half is a little aggressive.
Like, what is he drinking? Like, is he drinking a lot of water?
Well,
or is he
if you're
drinking
fasting, you're just drinking water.
Just water.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you can get by with coffee because it's low calorie if you don't add anything to it. But more than likely, if he's truly fasting, it's just water.
He said he does that on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So his body he says, resets.
For sure. Definitely just do it just eat 8 hours a day and then don't for the rest of the time and eat every single day.
That's kind of what I've tried to do.
Me.
Like, I'm more like, if I'm doing well with it, I really don't eat till like 1 o'clock usually or 12 and then try to stop at 8 or 9. And I've been pretty like I started doing that last year, and I'm not a breakfast guy anyway.
Sure.
So it really works for me. The harder part is not eating at like midnight.
Of course.
Because I'm up late.
But then you get used to it depending on your schedule, because you have a crazier schedule than I do.
But 36 hours, man.
Yeah. Woo. That's more power to you.
I don't know
Mr.
if I
Mickelson.
could do it. I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe I could try. Maybe I'd try it. But every week.
Yeah. It's nuts. I wouldn't do it.
I want to ask Phil, can you have a few cocktails or
but
beer?
Those got a little calories in them, man. I'd be careful with those cocktails.
Yeah, they do. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane Coos here on a Monday celebrating old people. Thanks to Phil Mickelson. Older has never been cooler in sports. I mean, Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson in 2021 have
John Morant, though, huh?
Made being old cool.
John Morant, though, goes, hey, go ahead and hold my AARP card because the young guns are coming up and it's not a big deal.
John Morant, very good. But I have now watched Memphis play like twice in the last week. And
Grind City, baby.
Dylan Woods.
Nope.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks.
Why did I say Woods? I got Tiger on my mind. Dylan Brooks has been unbelievable.
Good.
I remember him in that Final Four run for Oregon.
Yep.
And I watched him. It wasn't against Golden State. They played somebody last week that I watched.
Talking about the Grizz.
They had 2 games, right? So they had to beat somebody else.
The Spurs.
They played the Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
And Brooks in that game was terrific. Terrific. Like hitting shots. And again, I mean, if you watch Memphis play NBA a lot, like, good on you. I don't. And I should really. Like, Grayson Allen has played some good minutes for him. And obviously, John Morant's had another really nice year.
Yeah.
He's going to get that free throw shooting a little bit better, though.
Not worried about him, man. We're good.
Dylan Brooks was unbelievable again yesterday. Unbelievable. So that was a fun watch. No doubt about it. I don't know where I was going with that, but it was. You were going young guys.
You're talking about old people.
Dylan Brooks, by the way, did I hear correctly? He was a second-round pick. I think he was a second-round pick, and for Brooks to, you don't see that very often. I mean, I know there are countless examples of it, but
yes, he was in the second round in 2017.
Yeah, a lot of second-round picks don't even make the roster in the NBA. Like, I know second-round pick, we think about Major League Baseball or the NFL, like that's a big player. Not necessarily. So his story is a nice one for Memphis, and that's one of those. I was thinking like a team like Memphis that you go get John Morant, who could be a game-changing player, but a guy like Brooks is what, if he's good and consistently good, that can help really turn your franchise around because you didn't expect him to do what he's doing.
Chris Middleton from the Bucks, a second-round pick.
Second-round pick.
Yeah.
See, those are the guys.
They're very rare.
And those are the contributors that really help pave the way. We'll talk a little bit more about the NBA postseason coming up in a little bit. But Jags OTAs this week. Things to watch. All right, Trevor is always going to be something to watch, right? I'll give you like 5 quick things to watch. Trevor, certainly a thing to watch. Tebow, all eyes are going to be on Tebow when we get a chance to go out there for a couple-hour practice.
Sure.
I mean, what's he look like? Does he look like he's an embarrassment to the position? Does he look like he fits in and plays the position? If you never knew that was Tim Tebow out there, which is going to be a very hard exercise to do, but if you didn't know he was out there, would it be like an eyesore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Like, are you going to be like, who the heck is that?
Yeah.
Who'd they let win a day at practice?
Yeah, I got you. No, I hear you. Yeah.
Like, is it going to look like that, or is it going to look like guy's been playing tight end for 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like that. It'll take some time.
Well, it is OTAs, my point.
For
you
sure.
know, I mean, how much can you see?
Yep.
But there's a natural ability to sports where you can usually tell when somebody fits in or doesn't.
For sure.
And that's what I'm getting at with the Tebow thing.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact, and I can't say this enough, the guy is built like a Roadblocks character. If you don't know what Roadblocks are, Google him sometime.
I know
he's built like a Roadblocks character. So he's already sticking out as it is, rocking the 85. Yeah, I'm excited to see what this guy can do. Of course, there's going to be an adjustment period. Like, you can't expect him to go in there day one and compete for a starting job. But you're going to find out quick. You know, like once you see him on, one-on-one drills and things like that of running routes, you're going to find out quick what he can bring to the table. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think our eyes should be able to pick up on that pretty quickly.
But so we got the Tebow thing, Trevor Lawrence, obviously. The others, and this has been a big story as well, and I want some clarification because this is going to be a little more telling. I feel like now it's going to be 11 on 11. Where's ETN going to go?
Well, and that's on my list.
Yeah.
Right? ETN, like what does that look like? And is he more wide receiver? Is he playing some running back? Is he mixing in with James Robinson? Again, how much are we going to see in a 2-hour OT? I don't know, but I'm interested.
But you're going to start seeing the packages, in my opinion, start getting implemented. So, like, when we see these packages, I mean, it could be telling, all right, well, we got ETN in the backfield. Well, we got ETN in the slot. Like, it should give you a little idea of what the plan's going to be going forward for him.
Yeah. Listen, I want to see how many guys are out there. I mean, did they lose some? Full participation, what does that mean? Or almost full participation? That was a headline last week, like around Wednesday, I think it was, before Tebow became the headline. Like, is that noticeable? You got 90 guys, or do you have 84? That would be even pretty good. Or are there really more like 70 out there, and we're calling that almost full participation? I don't know what that's going to look like. That starts today, but we'll get a glimpse at it on Wednesday out there on the field. I'm interested in C.J. Henderson. Just an early look at maybe body language. Like, where does he, again, and you mentioned Tyson Campbell maybe had a little bit of a hamstring, it sounded like, from rookie minicamp, so maybe he's not even in there. But are they starting to float some of these guys around in a nickel look outside? C.J. Henderson is somebody that I'm going to watch when I go out to practice, whether it's Wednesday, whether it's minicamp, or whether it starts in late July at training camp. I think C.J. Henderson has my attention. Yeah. And the secondary does in general, but definitely C.J. Henderson does. What does he look like coming off injury? And again, I think some of it's even body language centric for me.
For sure. Now, with these first OTAs coming up as well, I mean, like I said, it's going to be 11 on 11, whether it's on air, whether it's, quarter speed, whatever the case may be, it will be 11 on 11. And this is going to give you your first opportunity, at least for the most part. Now, keep in mind, rosters always change, depth positions always change, all this stuff. But it's going to be your first glimpse of, well, who's starting? Now, once again, Tyson Campbell's out. Henderson's going to be in there. But if they go to nickel package, you can see, is Tyson Campbell playing in the slot? Is he playing on the outside? Who's playing, slot corners? It's C.J. Henderson. So assume that everyone's going to be 100% healthy, which, once again, that's a big what if. Assume that everybody's going to show up, which, once again, that's a big what if. But you can definitely get a gauge of who are going to be the starters going forward. Is Caleb Chase on? Do they feel him as a starter right now?
So I'll picture him. You see how much bigger he looks?
Yeah. That's by design, obviously, because he's got. You got to play the run on strong side linebacker now, man. They're going to count on you for that. On the other side of Josh Allen, so that's great to see as well. And you're going to get a good idea of the depth up front in terms of defensive line. Like, you have a pretty good idea, but where's a guy like Taven Bryan? Where is he going to fit in the second string, third string? This is what you can kind of find out from the OTAs.
All right, and my last one, okay, and we kind of threw ETN in there together, but my last one that I have down there is Gardner Minshew. Mm-hmm. Like, in a weird way, this is a guy that we talked about all last year. I'm actually somewhat surprised he's still on the roster, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I am. Not that I don't think he would be released. I just thought they would have made a move with him at some point. And so, speaking of body language and reps and all those kind of things, like, Gardner Minshew was the attraction this time last year if we were to have OTAs, and I know we didn't, but anytime the Jags stepped on the field, number 15 was an attraction. Mm-hmm. Now he's very much a sidebar footnote kind of story, but I'm still intrigued by it. Like, where does he mix in with Jake Luton, C.J. Beathard behind Trevor Lawrence? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of interested in Gardner Minshew. I think people almost forget he's on the roster still. And yes, he is. And how long he will be, I don't know. But I think my eyes will go to those kind of players, from Trevor to Tebow to Minshew, C.J. Henderson, and the totality of it to me was the full participation part. But I do think, like you said, ETN is still a guy. We're going to kind of look at that. You can pick a ton of players. There's a ton of storylines here. I think the one guy my ears will go to is probably Joe Cullen.
No, for sure. I mean, how could they not go to Joe Cullen? That's a given, sir.
So anyway, here's the deal with the OTAs. They start today, and Wednesday the media will get a chance to be out there. I think there's 3 sessions the media will get a chance. One this week, twice next week, and then you got the mini camp, which will be open, but not to the public. Just a reminder, not to the public. So hopefully we can be your eyes and ears a little bit. I do think, one, we have to be a little bit careful of it, but it happens naturally. I think narratives get formed kind of this time of year when you see even just 3 samples of this football team. They start to take shape. And narratives aren't always the truth. So I think of players like Juwan Taylor and Cam Robinson, a player like Caleb Chase, even a C.J. Henderson. I think this is where our eyes might see something at a practice, and everybody starts writing about it, talking about it, taking it to an extreme level off 1 2-hour session of practice, and narratives get formed. It might not be always fact, might be a little bit of fiction internally, but this is where those things start to take shape. This is why the NFL is a big engine in that regard. So keep your eye on those kind of storylines. You got Walker Little, who might try to push those other guys at tackle. You've got Tyson Campbell, who might push C.J. Henderson, and what's up with that? You got Caleb Chase, who feels like he's got a lot to prove going into this year. There's even the Taven Bryan stuff, but Taven Bryan kind of took on that life even last year and years prior. Go all the way back. Luke Jokel took on that kind of narrative. So And by the way, some of those are factual narratives. They're not all fiction. But be careful this time of year to shape too much of an opinion on a 2-hour practice.
No,
you can say that. I'm talking about the masses now.
No, for sure. Because I remember a couple of years ago, and it might have been OTAs, might have been mini camp, when it was the Nick Foles, Chris Conley show. And you had Chris Conley doing go routes and Nick Foles hitting him in stride. What we're all talking about. Well, guess what, fantasy football? If you don't get that Nick Foles, Chris Conley combination, you're going to be missing out on the championships. True. All right? Like, everybody was like, that was the talk of OTAs, whatever, mini camp, training camp. It was the Nick Foles, the Chris Conley combination. How are we doing with that now? How's that looking now a couple years after the fact? Not so good. So, yes, you got to take everything with a grain of salt here. Once again, to me, I'm looking at more personnel, more depth. Guys could have good days, bad days, but you can't put all that eggs in one OTA because 9 times out of 10, you'll probably be disappointed.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, just be careful, right? Let's settle down. A lot of storylines with the Jags, though. Not only right now this time of year, but when they take the field in July and August and when it really ramps up. There's a lot of different angles to go. I mean, well, you could interview a different player every day, and yeah, you can do that naturally every year because there's 90 players. But I'm talking about sincere intrigue and interest in so many different positions and players, and a freshness around here because of Urban Meyer, this new regime, and Trevor Lawrence, of course. More to come. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Talk a little more football. What about Julio Jones? Like he's out, right? He's definitely leaving Atlanta. Certainly looks like both sides are ready to make that happen. Yep. Who's going to dance with the Atlanta Falcons? We talk about it on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Congratulations go out to Phil Mickelson, who picked up his 6th victory and at 50 years old became the oldest golfer to ever win a major in the 161 years of major championship golf. Here he is afterwards describing what the victory means to him.
One of the moments I'll cherish my entire life. And I don't know how to describe the feeling of excitement and fulfillment and accomplishment to do something when, at this magnitude when very few people thought that I could. But the point is that there's no reason why I or anybody else can't do it at a later age. It just takes a little bit more work.
And over the weekend, the Jags lost another staff member. Special teams coordinator Brian Schneider is now leaving the team indefinitely for personal reasons. That happened on Friday evening. This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Where do the Knicks have to finish to get into the mix for an A-list free agent, a Booker, or somebody else?
If they make the playoffs and they show trajectory heading in the right direction, man, it's nothing like playing in a city with energy.
I mean, they're doing everything right. They're trending in the right direction. You can't say they're not.
Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio or streaming live on the ESPN app.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks Arrest golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talent Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
Oh, boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
Do you have a passion for sales? Are you known for building strong relationships? Do you love to compete and win? CMG Jacksonville is searching for a talented individual to join our family as a media consultant. This position will require a committed person who will forge great relationships with Jacksonville's business leaders and develop profitable campaigns for advertisers. If your talents are a match, email your resume to jaxjobs@cmg.com. That's JAXJOBS@cmg.com or call 245-8732.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms could mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Man, look, you want to go to the Cowboys, Julio? Or you want to stay in Atlanta?
Oh, man, nah, I'm out of there, man.
You out?
He's out of there.
Ideally, where would you like to go?
Right now, I want to win.
Okay. Well, don't go to Dallas. If you go, you ain't winning in Dallas, Julio.
Man, listen, come on, man. You already know I know.
Okay.
Can you remind him we're on television
Ask
right
him
now?
why we wore the Dallas. Listen. You know how people is, man, with all that going on with the picture?
Yeah.
And all that stuff like that.
Okay.
Man, I ain't never been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for calling me back. We on air, but I appreciate you calling me, dog. You know I know my nephew was going to pick up.
Shannon Sharp and Julio Jones.
Yeah.
You think Julio really knew he was on air? Did he fully understand that?
I mean, I think he did because he could hear Skip Bayless in the background, right? Or not? It was on speakerphone.
I know, but I just don't know if he actually knew he was on air.
No. Yeah.
If you're not in
Isn't
the
there
business,
rules against that though?
I feel like you got to tell him, hey, by the way, you're on the air.
Well, he did tell him. I just don't know if he believed
after
him.
the fact, yeah, maybe.
So, Julio Jones is the one that wanted the trade.
Yeah.
That's the report. I thought it was kind of the other way around. If you listen to a Terry Fontenot interview right around draft time, the GM of Atlanta was like, yeah, well, we're up against it cap-wise, and so it makes some sense, but it apparently is more Julio Jones wants out, even though they're keeping Matty Ice, and they got Ridley, and now they have Kyle Pitts, and I would think that might change my mind a little bit for Julio Jones to be a part of that offense. But he wants out. Where does he end up? We did this the other day. I mean, I think there's a chance he could end up in Seattle. There were some rumblings over the weekend, by the way, of the Patriots.
Did you see, I think it was Ian Rappaport saying that they would prefer to trade him in the AFC if it came down to it?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if you have to report that, but.
Well, yeah. But once again, I'm going to say this I don't know, I feel like it's the 20th time now because I said it about 19 times on Friday. Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you said it.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll buy you a soda. If it's
that's okay. Hey, trust me, I don't need your sodas because I'm gonna have so much fun on social media in terms of it's kind of like the Trey Lance effect a little bit. Now I was humble with the whole Trey Lance thing. I could have went back and go to the archives and see where I called it, but I'm too lazy to do that, and I just don't feel like doing it. But with this Julio Jones thing, I might have to do it.
Julio Jones, Jacksonville, no, like. Should you make a? I
mean,
could make a call.
It's fun to talk about, isn't it? But let's be honest.
It doesn't feel realistic.
Well, no, because Julio Jones wants to win a Super Bowl. And Jacksonville, with all due respect to the Jaguars right now, are they in the line to win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
Some people mention like a team like the Titans. What about the Colts? What about, if you think of the Super Bowl, what can I put over the top? Again, I don't think as a player, I understand the Super Bowl chase with Kansas City. I get it. But I don't understand as a player, I want to contribute to a Super Bowl too. I want to take a team to another level. I still feel like I've got that in me.
Julio Jones will contribite no matter where he goes. Even if he goes to Kansas City, I guarantee you Andy Reid's going to find him.
They'll find a place, yeah.
He's going to replace Sammy Watkins, essentially. Or did they re-sign Sammy Watkins?
I don't think they did.
He's kind of always the odd man out, it seems.
I don't feel like they did re-sign him. In fact, he might still be out there. Somebody must have picked him up.
That's interesting. Let me check
that out. It's kind of an under-the-radar move, but I remember seeing his name floating around at one time, and I don't know if he had been picked up, but somebody had to pick him up.
He's on the Ravens.
Ravens, there we go.
So it's a quiet signing. I never heard about that.
I vaguely remember him I just didn't know who. But anyway, if you think Super Bowl only, you can go to a bunch of NFC teams. We mentioned Green Bay. We mentioned Seattle.
Yes.
Tampa Bay, I don't think they have room for him in Tampa. Doesn't feel like it, but they don't really have room for him in Kansas City, maybe. And they still could make it work.
Who's playing that? Because, who's playing Sam Watkins' spot? I guess Mecole Hardman.
Mecole Hardman? They invested in him.
He's more like this. He's kind of like the gadget guy, though. You get the sense.
Yeah. Listen, you'll make, like you said, you'll make room for Julio Jones.
You're going to make it work regardless.
But you're making a trade. First of all, they say they want a number one first-round pick. I don't think they're going to get that. I think that's the thought in league circles is they won't get that, because, especially at this time of the season, of the offseason. And you're talking about a guy that has been injured, a guy that will cost some $10, $11 million, I think it is, and a second-round pick or a first-round pick. You got to be a little bit careful there. I don't know what kind of capital Kansas City has and if they're willing to do that. And do they need it? It's great if you're Julio Jones, say, yeah, I'd like to go to Kansas City.
Sure.
But Kansas City has every right to be like, do we really need Julio Jones?
Right, okay, but are you a better team with Julio Jones or without Julio Jones?
I would say you're probably better, but are you $10 million and a second-round pick better? That's what you have to ask yourself.
First of all, once again, don't worry about the salary cap because we figured out that's not real. And a second-round pick for Julio Jones, if he's healthy, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you would, for the next couple years, again, I'm not saying Julio would come here, but would you, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, say, hey, we'll give you a second next year for Julio Jones?
Yeah. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'd be on the phone right now offering that.
Yeah. Not a first.
Even a first, man.
For a couple years,
it's depending where the first would be.
Yeah, well, you got to believe Jags are going to be in the top 15 at.
I understand last year he was out a little bit and the numbers were down, but if you look to the track record of Julio Jones, and I wouldn't bet against him, I think he still has lots to offer. I'd definitely sacrifice second-round pick, no questions asked.
I don't think teams will be as willy-nilly with those draft picks and dollars as you are.
So you don't think teams are going to be lining up with the Julio Jones sweepstakes on the doorstep? Oh, man,
I don't.
I think you're wild.
I think the illustration that will be with what pick do they get?
Sure.
For it. What's the compensation? I think that will be our indicator of how many. Sure, every team wants Julio Jones, but what are you willing to give up to get Julio Jones? I think it'll be less than you think. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
I'm a call it like I see it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Need to get your car serviced or maybe your oil changed? Take it to Honda of the Avenues. Their service department is top notch. I'm talking 5 stars. Their new express lane service for oil change is incredible and so fast. Plus, they'll even vacuum and wash your car when they're done. Right now, get a synthetic oil change and a multi-point inspection, which is good before you head out on the highway for those summer trips. Just $49.95. Honda of the Avenues, easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
For the Game 1 loss also needs a different attitude, advises our Jay Williams.
I just want to see AD be nasty. Like when AD is nasty, that's a different Anthony Davis. When I see Anthony Davis taking fadeaway jump shots against DeAndre Ayton, and I see Ayton with 16 rebounds, and I see Anthony Davis, how many rebounds he had? 7? I want to see AD be way more aggressive.
Jay of our morning show, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. NFL, ESPN's Rob Domofsky reporting Aaron Rodgers a no-show on this first day of Packers OTA, so that means the main focus will be on quarterback Jordan Love. He'll get plenty of first-team reps. Rodgers still wants out of Green Bay, while the Packers say they have no plans to trade him.
What? Just 15 seconds to talk about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea? That smooth taste of real brewed iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol? What? We started already? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I definitely know the history of players coming in here, being hated, and that's, like I said, I take that as a compliment, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously I'm doing something right if you hate me this much. So, I mean, I just embrace it and then focus on my team and help my team win. And at the end of the day, I mean, we'll get the last laugh if we do that.
I missed the early part of that. Oh, is that Trae Young?
Yep.
That was a cool scene.
They were not being nice to him.
No.
Shout out to the TV audio department blocking out the chants so my son could watch with me.
The dump button was being used a lot.
Yeah, just recycled through.
It's funny, I was watching, but I guess I wasn't watching that and listening that intently, so I didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously he referred to it a bunch, and they must have been all over it because you could easily pick that up. Listen, NBA playoffs off to a heck of a start, right?
I'm having fun. Little too close for my liking with Milwaukee and whatchamacallit Miami, but I'm
play
having
again
fun.
today?
I know. What time?
I think it's the earlier one.
Yeah, it is what it is. I like it though.
I don't necessarily like the playoffs from the standpoint that the last game that starts isn't usually over till about midnight, and I'm kind of like a 10 o'clock bedtime kind of guy.
As am I.
And I got to stay up to do the Sports Center updates for the morning. So, yesterday I'm like all cozy up, ready to go to bed. And I'm like, oh, this game's not over, and it's nowhere close to being over.
Oh yeah, as far as the Grizzly, I didn't check out. I watched the first
and I
quarter,
had to
and that was it.
because I was like, it was intense, it was good, but
I watched it actually. I watched a good chunk of that game.
Yeah,
it's funny because like Ty was watching the early part of that, and then he went to bed, and he's like, they shouldn't even be in the NBA. Like he was that guy. He was that guy that was like, what are they doing? Like they haven't scored in 6 minutes.
Who? Utah?
No, Memphis.
Oh, Memphis.
At one time, Memphis hadn't scored in 6 minutes. He's and I agree with him. It's like, how do you not score in the NBA for 6 minutes? Like, not hit a field goal, okay, but not score. And of course, like he goes to bed. I almost woke him up. I was like, "Hey Ty, like they're on a 23-6 run," and then they really dominated like most of the game after that.
When you saw Donovan Mitchell came out after and said he was mad that the team didn't let him play, but it's like, dude, you got to make sure your ankle's right.
Well, and I heard that, and I was like, I even said, they don't need Donovan Mitchell right now. I mean, Utah's good, and again, like even the Knicks and Utah. This is a 7-game series, and I guess like the percentages, if you win game one of winning a 7-game series, usually like 76% in the NBA.
Well,
but those teams are going to, like I would put a lot of money on the fact that Utah wins that series, and I actually think the Knicks, although they're not like so good that they can just walk in and win, I still think they are going to win that series, and I don't think it's going to even take 7.
I also think there's a bit of a tone that you set when you win essentially on the road. Like both those guys won on the road, and in the playoffs, that's kind of like a big thing. Usually you'll watch it, it's like if a team's going to get a win, it's going to be at home. So now it kind of creates this like, all right, we won on the road, let's just handle our business back at home, and then we'll go on the road and do it again.
I think the Hawks can be a pretty formidable opponent. I think the Knicks are only going to be as good as Julius Randle allows them to be. And, when it came down to it and the ball's in his hands, he struggled.
Yeah, he wasn't good
last night. I mean, he still got some points in, but, like, when it came down to the wire and you're supposed to be the guy, you couldn't deliver. So, I get it. It's one game, but I also feel like, if you watch the Mavericks last year in the bubble when, it was the emergence of Luka Doncic, you could see the emergence of Trae Young a little bit where he took that game over. And, I mean, a lot of guys on that team, chipped in, but, like, it was the Trae Young show last night.
Oh, yeah. Trae Young, like, for, all the Luka comparisons, like, they have very similar stats in certain areas. And, they're great teams, but at the end of the day, they won't make it past the Sixers, so.
Oh!
Young, by the way,
took over. John Wall, though, and Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, not John Wall. Westbrook.
I keep saying
I was like,
John Wall.
It took me a second.
Second time I said that. My bad. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
My
no,
bad.
no.
Okay, Goose.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
4 games.
I will say this: Trae Young took over that game in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
just flat out took over.
Well, and
that's a special. That's what I like to see. You know, even as I mentioned, Dylan Brooks was really good, but most of it came in the third quarter. I think he only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter. And then he let John Morant do his thing. But that's what Morant's there for. Like, that's not really Dylan Brooks' role.
Yep.
Trae Young took the game over. I mean, he was just spectacular in the last 5 minutes of that ball game.
Can we talk about the biggest story out of the NBA playoff for the weekend? And is LeBron James getting the Oscar anytime soon?
Oh, the arm thing?
Because if I see you flop one more time and lay on the floor, I'm going to lose it. I
the
can't
eyes
handle
and the
It got chippy, right?
It's insane. And then they throw out campaign. By the way, shout out to Murray State on the map again. I mean, if John Morant wasn't enough, now campaign's getting thrown out of the games. Yeah, man. Like,
I know. I feel like I get it. Like, Chris Paul did like undercut him essentially as he was going for the rebound. But like,
guess what? It'd be like Brent Martineau trying to box me out, and then all of a sudden I go down and my arm is
Sure,
hurt.
right,
Like,
yeah.
With all due respect to you, Brent, you're not built like I am. So,
Yeah.
like, if you knock me over,
I don't know, my backside.
the pride. If you knock
Got
me
some
over, the
power
calves. You got the calves. If Brent Martineau knocked me over, the pride of me would say, all right, I got to get back up just from the pride standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lay on the ground for another 20 minutes and grab my shoulder a little bit and just kind of squeeze it out, you know?
All right, here's what I love to see, okay? Trae Young talks to Charles Barkley and the guys after the game. You know, he beats the Knicks almost, I don't want to say single-handedly, but he obviously dominated the stretch and beats the Knicks. They're swearing at him and heckling him. And he brings it up and he makes it vocal and he's really like, you know, dropping F-bombs and stuff and saying, you know, screw you, basically, to the Knicks fans.
Yep.
There's 2 ways this goes. They amp it up so much at the Garden the next time and the other times, and I know he gets a couple home games in there, but you either feed off that so much that he's going to play well this entire series, or you get wrapped up in that so much that you fall off the table. I'm not saying he plays terrible, but I'm just saying he doesn't play to the level that he played in that one game. And I'm really interested, and you got to take a side here. Which way is this going to go? Knowing that Atlanta's, first of all, not a great team anyway. There's already a lot on his shoulders, but I'm really curious to see which way this goes for Trae Young now that it's such an attention grabber. It's on the back pages.
Right.
We're talking about it in Jacksonville. I mean, that was kind of that moment. Now he can capture that moment, or he can kind of fall victim to that moment a little bit.
It makes me think of the first game LeBron played against the Cavs after he went out to LA. I remember the video of it. He like missed a 3-point shot, right? And there was a fan sitting courtside who like applauded it. And you remember, like LeBron like looked over at him and like stared him down for a little bit, and then went to the locker room. And he comes back and in the second half proceeded to drop like 38 points on the team. And you know, they asked him about it. He's like, I thought that guy just seemed a little too excited for me to miss the ball. So it's like a situation like that where like you either feed off it or it makes you crumble.
Like Steph Curry has learned to feed off that. He maybe failed it in other spots, but to me, he's a guy that feeds off it. I think LeBron kind of does feed off it.
He does that like shimmy after he scores.
Oh, yeah. He
Yeah,
wants it.
everyone's
It's
got
like,
their
keep
thing.
coming, right? And listen, as an athlete, I think as a competitor, those guys have heard it before. I mean, he heard it in college. He said it. But is Trae Young ready for that? Right? Is that the part of his career that he's at? So you're going to buy into he's going to be like this. I'm not saying he's going to win the series, but he's going to be really good in the face of all that all series long.
I mean, I think when you got the supporting cast of like Collins was pretty good for them, and then the I can't say his last name, Bogdanovic, who I thought was a Milwaukee Buck, and all of a sudden he's like, no, I'm going to Atlanta.
And he was tremendous in that game.
We never figured out what happened with that, by the way. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm not going to Milwaukee. I'm going to Atlanta. Whatever.
He was awesome.
I think he's got the supporting cast. The question I got for you, Kuz, is, and Brent too as well, I mean, for everybody, who's going to be a bigger star out of these NBA playoffs, though? Are we talking Devin Booker? Or are we talking Trae Young? Because I get Devin Booker's been around for a while, but he's not a star in my opinion because he hasn't had that playoff showing. He hasn't had that golden moment, if you will. Well, you beat LeBron James and Lakers game 1 a lot to your. I think he had 34 points, whatever it was.
Of course.
Who's going to be the bigger star of these playoffs?
Probably Booker. I think Booker in general already has more of a star power than Trae Young, just because he's been in the league a little bit longer. And then on top of that, you know, the sort of playoff-esque run that they did in the bubble where they won, 8 games in a row was kind of their playoff thing last year, even though they didn't get in. So I would say Booker, obviously, because if you do eliminate LeBron James, that's a big part of it. But to that point, Trae Young, I feel like Trae Young already has a bit of star power. Like him and Luka always get compared because they were traded for each other essentially.
Yeah.
And so they'll always get that comparison, and that kind of will just always bring Trae Young up, at least in that conversation as well. But I would say Booker.
If Devin Booker beats the Lakers and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, do we put the Kardashian curse to rest? Because seriously, I mean, he's dating a Kardashian at the end of the day. It's Kendall Jenner, but she's still a Kardashian.
Which used to
and we know how athletes have.
She was dating Ben Simmons and then left and went over to Booker.
Well,
so
Ben Simmons can't hit a three-pointer or a free throw. So anyways, if we're talking about Devin Booker here, if he beats LeBron, does he bury the... I say if Devin Booker beats the Lakers, give him the MVP award right now.
Wasn't Harden dating like Khloe Kardashian at one point or something like that?
I mean, not Facebook official. Probably. I don't know.
I don't know.
I love that question that you have, because if you think about this question, see, I think Kuz knows way. Kuz pays attention. He's locked into basketball so much. Driving Dish podcast. I think the guy you're asking about is more me, like that casually watches the NBA.
Okay.
Seriously, like I watch the NBA sometimes, and I'm like, who the hell is that guy?
And
like
to be fair with that, to that point, you're like,
who is that Knicks player that's scoring like 10 points right now?
Well, and, and to that, you're as the casual player looking at a piece of paper with the Suns team names on it, essentially, you're going to go to Chris Paul. You're going to go, oh, I know who that is. You're not going to.
Well, and by the way, like I obviously know who Devin Booker is, and he's been tremendous.
Name.
But I'm a big believer that Arizona sports teams carry this irrelevance for some reason. They just they are not top of mind. They are not. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, those guys trying to make it better. Booker's trying to make it that way. Chris Paul's trying to help him make it that way, and winning will make it that way. But they just are not like in the mainstream of people's thoughts. I think they're a very forgotten state in franchises that play there very often. But they are playing in L.A., and they're playing against LeBron James. And so Booker's has a chance to – people aren't – my point, Kuz, is people aren't going to remember the bubble last year. People are going to remember the next 6 days.
Right.
For sure.
When it comes to Booker, good or bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And Trae Young, very similar. I think people actually have a better feel for Trae Young coming out of college, and, what it kind of has had a little bit of the Steph Curry feel to him, some comparisons. And then you go play at Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks are getting a ton of attention right now for finally being in the postseason. So they're very similar situations, right? Not many people talk about Atlanta and Phoenix NBA basketball teams.
Sure.
Just don't. A lot of people talk about the Knicks and the Lakers.
Sure.
And so they're both on these really high-profile series, and they're both really good players that probably are underrated to the masses or don't get the appreciation they deserve. But I love your question, because I think one of them's going to come out of here, and we're going to be talking more about one or the other.
Yeah.
Now, there's a better chance Phoenix maybe wins. They might have they have a better team, would you say?
Well, yeah, they definitely got a better team.
But they got to play the Lakers. So.
But I think they have the harder opponent.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because, like, ranking-wise, like, the Suns should be ranked, in terms of who should win that game. They're the second seed. The Lakers are the 7th. So,
but
it's
LeBron and Davis.
I know. So it's crazy that they're like kind of like the quote unquote underdogs.
I think that's just as good a story. I mean, who's supposed to win more? Right? Even though they're the lower seed, you might argue that Atlanta really should.
Yeah.
Atlanta,
pick them to win.
Atlanta's got that whole, like, again, not to the casual fan, but Atlanta's got that whole storyline of getting rid of their coach halfway through the season, and then McMillan comes in, and they're like all of a sudden an amazing team. They make this run just to really, halfway through the season get back into the playoffs and all that stuff. They have a ton of money put into their players. I think it was like $128 million or something like that put towards the team just this season. So it was like if they don't make the playoffs this year, it's a colossal failure. And at the beginning of the year, it looked like they weren't going to do it, and they finally pushed together to get it.
It's funny because you look at Atlanta, and they're compiled of guys that were like the second or third best players from other teams. And now, like, they come to Atlanta, and, like, they've all seemed to gel together. I think I'm around, like, Clint Capella. Clint Capella for a while was one of the best centers in Houston, and then you had guys like Lou Williams, who, Lou Williams has a story that he didn't get a lot of playing time yesterday, but, like, you just have a bunch of guys, Bogdanovic as well, and then, John Collins. Like, you just got a bunch of guys. Gallinari is another one. You just got a bunch of guys who, like, on paper, it's like, okay. They're not going to knock your socks off. But then, like, when you see them play, like, they play a pretty, once again, it's just one game, so let's see what happens here. But they play a pretty solid brand of basketball, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
It's I think it's fascinating. I think the whole thing. But I'll say this, too. I'm not a New York sports guy. Not in any means. But I think the Knicks being in it really does carry a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Like, I think that scene yesterday, again, got my attention. It will be fun to watch the series. I think it's going to be a good series. I don't know how great, like I said, either team is in terms of contending for a title or anything like that, but I do think it's going to be a really good series. And
I would say, in the East, there's like a clear 3 that are probably going to potentially make it out.
And
the 76ers.
And those teams yep, go ahead.
Yeah, the 76ers, the Nets, and the Heat. And,
That's a good
Bucks,
game 1 win for your Bucks.
No. I would say the Bucks, the Sixers, the Nets, and the Bucks, like record-wise, are like the clear 3 for the East. And then after that, it's kind of everyone's kind of jumbled together. So,
but my point being, even with that, I think the Knicks are getting more attention and will get more attention and are getting my attention more than the opening series for the Sixers, even though they're the best team in the East.
But to that argument, now and what the national argument is now is, okay, the Knicks have put out this team that can make it to the 4th seed in the East. They've shown they can do it. Now, what star is going to go, all right, I'm ready to lead this team and do that now for the biggest city and the biggest market,
And by the way, there is something to that. And it feels like there's something more to that in the NBA than any other sport. The NBA feels like it has.
That's why LeBron went to LA.
It's why LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly had that. So, one last thing on the Knicks. What they've done to turn it around in such short order, even with ownership the way it is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something you'd find from a small market team, though. Like, I don't think we see that with the big market teams. Usually the big market teams just spend until they find the formula. But they've had to gut themselves, and their brass that has come in and reshaped their organization, has a vision for it has buy-in for it, and it has worked. That doesn't seem reserved usually for like a New York team. That's the Oakland A's, right?
No, for sure.
That's maybe like the Houston Astros or something. And Houston's a big city, but you get my point. That's not usually an L.A., Chicago, New York kind of thing.
It just goes to show you, though, like the Knicks have been a small market team because nobody wanted to go there.
That's a good point. They had to take that approach.
When they were trying to get Kevin Durant, like Kevin Durant said, absolutely not. I'm not going to the New York Knicks because nobody wanted to go there.
I'll go to the other New York team.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that they're doing better changing that image now, and I think that New York is a cool place to play once again. I mean, I'm not sure if one season will make the big difference, but I think a couple years down the line, if they can keep having the sustained success, well, now you're talking about those big free agent guys that want to go there on the max contract and play for the New York Knicks. You just didn't have that a couple years ago.
What other note there? Spike's looking a little old, isn't he?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, did you see? Yeah.
Yeah. Spike got a little less energy. How old is Spike?
Oh.
I actually was like, yeah, he got a little less hop in his step.
I was hoping him and Trae Young are going to go at it. We'll see.
64.
Is he?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, we're watching him jump up and down. He's not used to it, man. I was
going to say,
he's not in his.
It's been like 20 years.
Well, he's not in his exactly. He's not in his playoff form because it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
So that is very, very
that
true.
Man alone, Brent.
Well, he didn't have the season to warm up into it either. Like
true. True.
No
you think?
This is really the first time back in a way.
Yeah, true. Good point. It's good. Hey, look, right now, I think the early part of the NBA playoffs have been pretty captivating.
Yeah.
And part of that will be LeBron and Anthony Davis. Can they kind of turn this thing around and win?
And I would say, to that, with what I've always noticed, at least from a casual NBA fan, is there's a lot of interest for the first 3 games, and then it drops until the conference finals. You get this lull,
it'll be
essentially.
A lull.
So wonder if
we'll
they
see if
keep
that holds
up.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. We come back. There's a little circulation of Justin Blackmon talk today. Was it really him? Is a question that we have.
Yes.
And really everybody does. Nobody knows. I'll tell you, I talked to somebody who thinks it is him, but isn't 100% sure. But it kind of brought up Justin Blackmon, and it's a story that I'll always say. I told Austin this earlier in a break. I mean, it's a story that in my career hit me a different way. Explain that a little bit more, and a thought or two on Justin Blackmon, what he potentially did say on social media, if it really is him or not. But either way, have a little conversation about Justin Blackmon since that topic got brought up today. It's coming up next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Don't forget to go vote for our Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Honda the Avenues. You can do that on ESPN690.com.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Today, mostly sunny and hot will rise this afternoon into the low 90s, then steadily drop tonight into the mid 60s with mostly clear skies. Mostly sunny and still hot on Tuesday with a high of 92 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
Boss, you're not going to believe what I found on the internet.
What, the moon is hollow?
No, not that. This. I just did a search and found yard signs for alarm systems for sale.
What? Just the sign? Just like without the security system?
Yeah. Look, you can get a big blue alarm sign for about $25. Ooh, delivered tomorrow.
They must not give a flip about their reputation.
Or their real customers.
Right. I bet you can't find a SafeTouch security sign on that thing.
Boss, SafeTouch wouldn't be involved in something like this.
Nope. When you see a SafeTouch sign, you know it's the real McCoy.
Right. The two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Which is exactly why we always stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Now, let's go find us some fake signs.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Need to get your car serviced or maybe your oil changed? Take it to Honda of the Avenues. Their service department is top notch. I'm talking 5 stars. Their new express lane service for oil change is incredible and so fast. Plus, they'll even vacuum and wash your car when they're done. Right now, get a synthetic oil change and a multi-point inspection, which is good before you head out on the highway for those summer trips. Just $49.95. Honda of the Avenues, easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Sarah is 64 and loves to garden. Recently, her health insurance ran out, leaving her worried about more than just weeds. She called the Elder Helpline and spoke with a volunteer Shine counselor about her options. There, she received free, unbiased counseling on health insurance for those on Medicare. For more information or to volunteer, call 1-800-963-5337 or go to floridashine.org.
Come on, don't do the socks or tie thing again for Father's Day. Get him the Dream 18 card instead. Discounted golf to 8 area courses, and now at the clearance price of just $45 while supplies last. Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River, Osprey Cove, Queens Harbor, Fleming Island, Eagle Landing, and Hidden Hills. It's the best deal in town for the best dad in town. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase. There's more too. Free shirt from Bakers, free hat from Dome Hats, free smoothie from Smoothie King. The best buy around, priced at just $45 on ESPN690.com. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com. CGC Water has been telling you, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Max. At a certain point, you know it so well, it's like muscle memory. It's second nature, and you don't have to pay attention to the technique anymore. That's James Harden, the MVP of the league. And by the way, every season, he's among the finalists for MVP.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
You ain't trading. If you trade him to the NFC, then you got major issues at general manager. And so then I think the question you as an organization of an AFC team has to go, do we have a young player at the position that we think has a bright future? Because then it becomes, is it worth giving up on that young player and the pick to acquire Aaron Rodgers? And so that's why, like the Cleveland Browns, I say no, because Baker's got a bright future. Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Neither of them have young players that you think has a really bright future in the league, right? Drew Lock has got so many question marks, and Derek Carr is a good player, like a really solid player, but I think we know what he is, right? And so those two teams sit there and go, we don't have a young guy at the position that we really are in love with for the future. And then the third team would be the Miami Dolphins. Tua is a guy that you could be on the fence about.
I have no idea who that was.
Was that Jason Fitz? No.
It's usually your guy, too.
My guy?
Pretty sure.
It wasn't like Mike Clay, was it?
No, that was Dan Orlovsky.
Orlovsky,
huh? Because he's not. I've been over this many times. He's not defending himself, so I can't tell when it's more laid back than Orlovsky.
He said something that's interesting there. If you're the Browns, you wouldn't give up on Baker Mayfield for Aaron Rodgers for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Well,
you're that sold on Baker Mayfield?
No, but I think it's what you have to sacrifice as well to get Aaron Rodgers. Like, you probably got maybe Myles Garrett or something. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm not advocating it. I'm just saying, like, if Green Bay called me and I'm Cleveland.
It's straight up, yeah, Aaron Rodgers all day.
Well, it probably won't be straight up.
That's what I'm saying.
That team is built nicely.
Yes.
And Aaron Rodgers, I don't care whoever wants to talk about Baker Mayfield, Mark Spencer, I don't care if you won the Jaga match play this weekend and you want to defend Baker Mayfield. And local media kills him around here. But I still think Aaron Rodgers is 5 times the quarterback of Baker Mayfield.
No, very true. The thing, though, is, okay, so if Aaron Rodgers goes to Cleveland, are they a run-first team or a pass-first team?
I know what you're saying here. It's a trick question because they're built to run.
Well, no, I mean, it's not a trick question. No, yeah. I'm being serious because you have one of the best.
An Aaron Rodgers-led team.
I guess, because you have one of the best. I mean, you have, arguably the best quarterback last year in the NFL. at the helm of your team, but you also are touted by one of the best running games in the NFL. Like, something has to give.
It's a nice mix right now. Yeah,
but I'm saying, are you going to pass first or are you going to run first?
Can you imagine, though, if you're, by the way, I just got the number 1 sign from Spencer. Glad you were listening, Mark. Can you imagine just that scenario where you're Aaron Rodgers and you go all of a sudden into a situation where you have those running backs and that receiving core?
Yeah.
Like he hasn't had nothing, right? I mean, the talk has been he's had nothing. Yeah. And you get like Odell Beckham and more.
You got Higgins. Was it Rashard Higgins, right? I think they got.
Is that a nice year for him?
Yeah, he had a nice year for him. Jarvis Landry as well.
Landry. Joku seems happy now. Austin Hooper's there. Mm-hmm. And you got the backfield.
Definitely an upgrade. Definitely an upgrade. And by the way, good. A lot better of defense to have your back as well. A lot better defense.
Well, didn't play well last year, but they've upgraded big time.
Oh, the Browns.
The Browns.
Yeah. I mean, but once again, if you watch the NFC Championship game, a lot better defense.
Aaron Rodgers not at OTAs is the report, but Blake Bortles was. That should be more the headline.
Color me shocked. You mean a voluntary Aaron Rodgers wasn't there? Oh, you mean he's probably having his honeymoon right now and I don't know, Cabo San Lucas or whatever, I don't know, some place in Mexico? Is that Mexico? Cabo San Lucas?
Sure.
Kuz hit me with it. Not even sure.
Kuz probably vacation there.
Yeah.
Kuz, is that where you went on your honeymoon? Cancun, I know. Turn the mic on.
Turn the mic on, man.
Oh, I thought I did press it on.
There, you're good.
It is in Mexico.
Yes.
There we go. Very good. Hey, tell us, Justin Blackmon, there was something under a Justin Blackmon heading today on Instagram of some social media posts.
Yes.
Now, let's be full disclosure here. We really have no idea if this was Justin Blackmon.
That is correct.
And you doubt that it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Instagram. I looked at his Instagram account, and it's private, but I also got to see the post that he wrote and the comments in it. And I don't know if it's him or not.
Tell everybody what it is. You have it in front of you.
Let me bring it up.
If you do,
because I don't, but I can bring it back up real quick. So there's 2 posts, and now it's
gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
Oh, it's gone or gone from your computer?
No, it's gone from my phone because I was using because he's on private. So you have to go by other means to see what he put down when someone's in private. I use those other means. I don't have anymore.
Since he's on private, does that indicate that a better chance of him? I'll tell you this: like Maurice Jones-Drew, I asked him. I texted him. I said, "Hey, do you know if this was him? Have you heard from him? All that stuff." He said, "I think it was him." And he said, he just said, like, I hope he's doing well. And he hadn't talked to him or anything like that, at least from the conversation with Mojo quickly that I had. But he didn't know 100%. He did like it. So, I mean, he obviously thought it was him on social media.
Sure.
I have no idea if it's somebody else. You know how social media works.
Yeah. So his last tweet, his last IG post. He put, I was lost in the dark, but I never stopped searching for the light. #Jaguars, #NFL, #blessed, #recovery, #humble. And then it's a picture of him, looks like during a game rocking the Jaguars uniform and helmet. And then in going forward, a guy, I'm not sure who the people were, but one person said, you making a comeback, and he had like the scrunchy, like, I don't know, emoji, like maybe. Yeah. And then another person said, if Tebow can do it, you can do it. And in that post, he had the eyeball emoji.
The reason why I would lean toward this not being him probably is the fact that he actually tagged himself in a uniform, kind of the phrasing of it, the #Jaguars and the #NFL. Like, I don't think he would. So I'm kind of saying I would lean toward with you saying it's probably not a real thing.
I'm not buying into it. I mean, it would be cool if it was, because I'll be honest here. I spent some time with Justin Blackmon outside of the facilities and inside the facilities. And, like, if there was anybody that was going to take time off and then come back and play, and I'm not trying to hype this whole thing up and get people excited.
Yeah.
But if there's one guy to take a lot of time off and come back and play because he's just naturally gifted, Justin Blackmon is that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he could afford to take a couple seasons off and come back because, like, when we were in the, as far as I was like in the weight room and things like that, and we had Cecil Shorts on, and he alluded to this as well. It wasn't like Justin Blackmon was like this workout warrior. All right, it wasn't like Justin Blackmon was putting on, all this weight on the rack. I mean, with all due respect, the guy kind of had a dad bod. All right, and that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. I had a dad bod. I was a defensive lineman, wasn't wide receiver, but he had a dad bod.
Yeah, so it wasn't a physical specimen.
Wasn't a physical specimen by any means. It wasn't put up the biggest numbers in the weight room.
Didn't look like DK Metcalf.
Didn't look like DK Metcalf. But when that guy got on the practice field or on the game field, I mean, game over.
Yeah.
Like just special talent. So if you want to talk about how this is really him, and he's talking about making a comeback, I mean, listen, anytime you're out of the game that long, it's hard to come back. But I'm just saying, if anybody was built for it, that could maybe make it happen and make it a Disney story, Justin Blackmon is that guy.
Yeah, I think of it from a bigger picture. I'm not thinking of it from a comeback standpoint. He's 31 years old. I was kind of hoping in my conversation a little bit with Maurice Jones-Drew about this was I was hoping that was him in a way of saying, hey, I'm doing better.
Sure.
Like, I would love to see something from Justin Blackmon and says, hey, I'm doing better.
Sure.
Like, I can live my life, and I'm happy where I'm at. I'm in a peaceful place. I'm had demons. I've done my best to get rid of the demons. I don't know where all that is. I really don't. But I would just tell you, and again, this story, we've seen some good receivers on the practice field. I've been here since 2008. He is the best receiver I've seen on the practice field and on the game field. I mean, he really was. And we had debates over that. Some people didn't think he was as good as some of us touted him to be. I think he was really that good, from a football standpoint. But it's in my 20-year career doing this, very few stories from a professional level, at least, have hit me like the one of Justin Blackmon. I don't know if it was the time in my life, time in my career, time, whatever, or just the fact that I saw him as not a football expert. I saw him on the field. I was like, damn, that guy is good. Like, his hands are different. He performed on Sundays. I mean, this guy was that good. And the fact that his age, how much money he was making, how much talent he had, addiction was that strong. Like, I haven't been around that, fortunately, in my life, knock on wood, close up. To know the pitfalls of that. And again, I'm blessed to be able to say that. So to me, he was kind of like in my world, like the poster child of seeing that up close. That talent, the kind of money that he left on the table, his production at the elite level, and then to have addiction be that strong and to bring him to the places that he went was so eye-opening to me. As I don't even think it was a journalist, as a human, and it was just, but it still does hit me that way. So it's not to me about a comeback. I know he must have had some big time demons. The addiction was so strong for him to have to walk away from the game and not be able to play and do what he did. That I just hope from a human standpoint, that guy, gets better, lives life, all those things that kind of sound cliche, but I genuinely mean it about him. It had nothing to do about him coming back and playing football. I think it has more to do about him just being okay, living his life. So hopefully that's the case. I would love to see this be real, because that would at least indicate he's on the right path. Because we don't have an indication. We have nobody hears from him. It's a very unusual thing, right? In your world, how many guys just go dark? Like, he does not have a lot of people that he talks to.
No, for sure.
He does not have.
When we had Cecil Shorts on, Cecil Shorts even alluded to the fact that he hadn't talked to him since he left. So, no, it's craziness. And I understand the narrative out there. He was a bust of a draft pick and he screwed his life up and all that stuff. But you talked about it. The guy had an addiction. Like, nobody wants to go out there and say, you know what? I'm going to get in trouble by the NFL. I'm going to get fined pretty much my entire signing bonus. I'm going to have one more strike left. And then, on top of it, I'm going to go out there and get in trouble again.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave $10 million on the table.
For sure. And I ended up, losing my career over it. Like, nobody signs up for that. No one goes out of the way to say, this is what I want to do. I want to screw up my life this much where a game that I played since I was a kid, I just can't play it anymore now because I essentially kicked myself out of the league. No one wants to do that, man. There's definitely demons and addictions there that were afoot, and I'm in no position to say, what was the cause of that or who the people around him. Like, that's not my job to do. But I also think that once again, I said this: if he was to come back, I could see it. I really could. Now, I'm not sure if this Instagram post is him or not. You hope it is, because you hope he's doing good. But like you see this with rock stars all the time. Like rock stars, they have their own demons sometimes, especially those of the past. But then they go on stage and they perform, and it's like, this guy's going through something? Are you kidding me? Like this guy is screaming his lungs out. And he was exactly that guy. And it makes you wonder where if that guy could come back, but now that guy's got the right headspace, he has the right mentality, and he is clean, and he understands the error of his ways. What could that guy be like then on the field and off the field as well, but definitely on the field? It's crazy.
One last point on this, and really the point that really shouldn't matter because we're talking about people's lives and stuff. But again, we live in a sports world. It does show you the unlucky nature of this organization at times. He was a brilliant talent, and obviously left a lot of football out there on the field in a Jags uniform. Telvin Smith most recently. He was just in court on Friday. Left a lot of football out there, walked away from the game, and then got himself in trouble after making a Pro Bowl. Like, Jags have been a little bit unlucky having two guys basically leave $10 million contracts on the table because of their own personal troubles, which plays a little bit into the unluck of this organization over the last decade. And hopefully from that standpoint, that has turned here in Jacksonville. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Congratulations go out to Phil Mickelson, who picked up his 6th victory and at 50 years old became the oldest golfer to ever win a major in the 161 years of major championship golf. Here he is afterwards describing what the victory means to him.
One of the moments I'll cherish my entire life. And I don't know how to describe the feeling of excitement and fulfillment and accomplishment to do something when at this magnitude when very few people thought that I could. But the point is that there's no reason why I or anybody else can't do it at a later age. It just takes a little bit more work.
And over the weekend, the Jags lost another staff member. Special teams coordinator Brian Schneider is now leaving the team indefinitely for personal reasons. That happened on Friday evening. This SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
I love that sound. To me, it's a battle cry. Because when you have a plumbing emergency, what you don't want is some chuck-in-a-truck plumber treating it as just another day on the job, scheduling you for whenever suits him.
Well, let me check on that. Hey, Bobby, when are we getting back from fishing tomorrow? Yeah, about tomorrow afternoon.
And then doing turd bucket work whenever he finally shows up, if he shows up. Well, flap that, Jack. If you've got a clogged drain, a burst pipe, or a broken water heater, you want same-day service from someone who will go to war on your problem. That's what Griffith's Service does. We offer same-day service for plumbing emergencies, burst pipes, clogged drains, and water heaters. And we'll not only go to battle against your plumbing emergency, we're also waging war against mediocrity in home services. We won't just fix your problem, we'll fix it right. So for same-day service for your plumbing emergency, call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jules in St. Augustine at Murabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jules app and catering for all of your events. Visit williejules.com and visit Willie Jules at Murabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jules.
Many of us have been fortunate to have someone along the way take an interest in our career or another aspect of our life. To a small business owner, it is important to have an objective voice to provide advice or guidance to help identify customers, answer a legal question, or review finances. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE is always looking for people willing to offer their time and expertise to mentor current or aspiring entrepreneurs. If you're interested in joining our team, go to the volunteer tab at jacksonville.score.org and start sharing your knowledge today.
Need to get your car serviced or maybe your oil changed? Take it to Honda of the Avenues. Their service department is top notch. I'm talking 5 stars. Their new express lane service for oil change is incredible and so fast. Plus, they'll even vacuum and wash your car when they're done. Right now, get a synthetic oil change and a multi-point inspection, which is good before you head out on the highway for those summer trips. Just $49.95. Honda of the Avenues, easy to find on Phillips Highway south of 295 or at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then, bam, your whole life changes. You're injured and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Introducing the Lowe's List. While there's innovation in every aisle, these are some of our experts' top picks for 2021. Customize any load with the Whirlpool 2-in-1 washer. Control your home with a touch, thanks to Samsung Connected Appliances. Repel the rain with HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Everlast. And keep the job going longer with the exclusive new line of Flex Power Tools, made for pros. To see who made the full Lowe's list, visit Lowe's.com. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Oh boy, you have that look on your face. That grumbling Greg face. Boss asking you to do work? No, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask somebody to work at work. That's why we switched to Peak Push to Talk. Yeah, Push to Talk is back. Connect instantly to anybody, anywhere in the country. Boop. Get used to the boop. And working at work, too. It's kind of the thing we do.
Boop nationwide. Learn more at booptotalk.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
It would have been cool if I didn't have a knee injury and got dinged a few times in the knee in that crowd because no one really gave it personally. But if I was fine, yeah, it would have been cool. It's cool for Phil, but getting dinged a few times isn't exactly my idea of fun.
That is Brooks Koepka.
Sounds like he was mad that he lost.
You think so?
I think it's got something to do with it.
But it wasn't like that crowd made him lose.
True. I'm just reading the comments right now in the stream chat.
About what?
No, we're good.
Not good?
So someone said, I remember seeing Blackman and Austin Lane at the Ritz Bar on Jack's Beach.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Confirmed. Yeah.
Listen, folks, from 2010 to 2012-ish, 13, if you were out by the beach, you saw Austin Lane.
You saw me all the time. All right. I mean, it's just the way of the world. It is what it is. If you didn't see me, then you should be concerned.
The story would be if you saw Brent Martineau, okay? Like, you probably didn't see him.
You been out there before? I mean, on occasion, huh?
Oh, yeah, the dinner, but not the... Like, I've never done the... Honestly, I don't think I've ever done the night scene out there at the beach.
So, I have it on good authority, and I want to call him up. I'm going to call him out anyways. Jack Del Rio didn't frequent the beach bars, from my understanding, but one night, legend has it that he went out to a certain beach bar, showed up for like 10 minutes, bought like 100 Coronas, put them on the table, and then just walked out. And anybody could grab a Corona if they wanted one.
Very cool story.
That is the rumor. Now, I wasn't there. I can't confirm it.
We should ask Jack about that.
But that is the legend of one Jack Del Rio at the beach bar.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
And ask if that's true.
Confirmed.
Because that's a good story.
Yeah.
Don't mind that. Nice job, JD.
No, it's for sure.
We were at
I didn't know where you were going with that story.
I know.
And by the way, if Jack was listening, he didn't know where you were going with it either, probably.
I bet. I know.
We were out this past weekend, right? Friday night. And a guy walks past us in the bar we're in, and he's huge. Like taller than you, Austin.
Okay.
And Nicole turns to me and she goes, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you mean who's that?" She's like, "He definitely plays for the Jags." And I was like, "So you're just immediately assuming because this guy's huge."
You got to.
Yeah.
And in this area, so did you talk to him?
Not at all.
Come on, Coos.
No, because I couldn't hear anything in that bar because there was music playing. So,
Sure.
like, even Nicole talking to me, I was looking at her mouth moving. I'm just like, uh-huh.
What's the percentage of people that are bigger than you that are not athletes?
Oof, low.
I mean, very low.
Seriously.
I mean, around these parts?
Especially, yeah. Like, if you were in Jacksonville, like, you know Brian Middleton?
Yeah.
Works at the radio and TV station?
Okay.
I think he's probably taller.
I wonder if he is taller.
I bet he's
now.
bigger. No, seriously.
Now.
He might be taller than you, yeah.
We might have to go.
Careful
Hey,
now.
Weber, if you're listening, send Middleton up.
Yeah. It's going to do a stare down.
But I think he might be
Pretty
bigger
funny
than you.
stare
I'm
down.
not sure how.
Careful now,
well,
Brent.
He's
Careful.
a big dude.
Careful
Yeah, he's
now.
tall, yeah.
Careful.
And I think he played sports. I'm just saying he wasn't a professional athlete. So
Sure.
there are probably people out there, but not many. So we're talking about out of 100 people that you might see that might be 6'6" or big, or let's go 6'7" or bigger since you're 6'6".
Thank you very much for the respect.
Then I would say I'd put it at less than 5 people that would be.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be
Probably
safe to
3.
say to implement a above 6'6" selfie policy. Just if you see someone
Probably.
that tall,
You have
take
a
a
very
photo.
good
They're
chance.
probably an athlete.
Without a doubt. Selfie policy is implemented.
Now, they could be a
Yes.
crapshoot pick in the 5th round, but
Could be sitting next to you on the radio show right now.
It could be.
So let's pump our brakes a little bit.
I mean, so there is that possibility.
No, for sure. Because that's a fantastic idea. And with all due respect to offensive, it's probably like Walker Little you saw. But anyways, well, probably. But with all due respect, I don't know. I don't know who he is. But with all due respect to offensive lineman, defensive lineman, if you're over 6'6", people should take the picture with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've
He was
earned that.
wearing a bucket hat. That's all. He was tall and
was
had
it a
bucket
Jaguars
hat.
bucket hat?
No.
I like that.
By the
though.
way, if I'm if I'm 6'6" or bigger than 6'6", I think you have earned the right to take a selfie anyway, just because of what you have to do to get on a plane.
Yeah.
That's I do not envy your traveling ways.
See, I always found it funny though, because once again, I did spend a couple times at the beach bars with sometimes players, but I always found it fascinating how many of them would wear the Jaguars bucket hat.
They
Or,
wanted people to know.
Yeah.
Because it's free drinks.
Yeah. See, I was always
that's
the
a good call.
opposite.
Yeah, you want to try to blend in if you can.
Well, even at Murray State, the guys would always wear their track warm ups. Now, once again, we're Murray State, so I would want to rep that for football. If it was basketball, whoa, Mr. Lane's right this way. Football's a little different, but I never had that motivation to rock my football gear out in public.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys do this.
I got recognized.
I would see it different in college, but definitely in the pro ranks, I would think they would try to go incognito more.
Yeah.
A younger guy, maybe, hey, just enjoy the moment, you know.
I mean, I was embarrassed more than let's be honest here.
Hey, we were 2-14.
I didn't want to walk around here.
That means more drinks.
Hey,
you
guys gonna pick it up or what? I don't know, sir. I'm trying. You guys getting Tim Tebow? I don't think so, but we'll see. I'm not wearing my Jaguars polo. How do you know? I mean, I stick out. So.
How is Mike Malarkey? Does he really make you line up the helmet?
I'm sure he's doing good, and yes, he did.
I saw Mike Malarkey last week. He was doing well.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Next time you see him, tell him I say what's up, man.
He enjoyed being
that dude.
He's enjoying being away. I asked him sincerely. I was like, all right, do you really miss it? Because there was some talk he might get back in.
Okay.
Last time I talked to him, and he says he's enjoying it, being out of it. So
good for him. Yeah.
Hey, Brooks Koepka.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? I mean, I know you don't sit there and watch golf all the time, but
correct.
Would it be someone you'd root for? You like him? From what you know about him? Kuz, you a Koepka fan? Because listen, I tweeted over the weekend. I said, I don't know if I root. I still have a very hard time if I root for Koepka or if I root against him. He's really in between. And the funny thing is, the way he talks, some of the things that he says, and I'm a huge Tiger fan, but he kind of reminds you of Tiger in the early days. Tiger would be that kind of standoffish, say the thing that nobody really wanted to hear sometimes, and he didn't care what you thought. And that's kind of Koepka.
Hasn't he had some smart aleck comments once in a while?
A ton. He's that guy.
I'm a Brooks Koepka fan then.
But I think he relates to the millennial because of it.
What was
I really do. I think he relates to
he had one about
and I'm not knocking that person
golf.
either. I think they like that about him.
Yeah, but isn't it Justin Thomas that is drinking beer and stuff like that all the time? Isn't he the one that seems most relatable to
No, I don't think so. See, that's what I think Koepka has the feel of. I mean, maybe he does. I'm not saying Justin Thomas is a good dude and stuff.
Just because I remember a story about that and being oh wow, that's kind of relatable.
I think there's a stigma about golfers in general of that country club feel.
Yeah.
And Koepka kind of erases that.
Yeah.
Koepka's doesn't feel like he probably played at country clubs growing up, but he doesn't really come across as that guy. Like, instead, he's the guy, he's the gun golfer that you think he might, like, you don't want to get in a fight with him.
Yeah.
Because he'd probably rip your head off, right?
The quote that I referred is when he said, "I'm an athlete. I'm not a big golf nerd." Because some people ask him, how serious do you take this, the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, I'm an athlete. I'm not a big golf nerd in that aspect. I'm not big on history." Like, see, I like that.
Yeah, and I think people gravitate that. I think the younger generation especially, I think there were a lot of 20-somethings and lower 30-somethings that, as much as everybody loves Phil, didn't want to see Phil win. They wanted to see Phil collapse, and they wanted to see Koepka win.
Yeah,
I was
they
rooting
really
for.
did. I think that's real. I don't know if I feel that right, but I think it's real.
I was rooting for Oosthuizen just because I thought the name was crazy.
Well, you were in a minority, okay? Because
South Africa?
Yeah.
Oosthuizen?
Yeah. Very little people were rooting for Oosthuizen. I can guarantee you that.
I told my uncle that. I said, the only reason I'm rooting for this guy is because his name's so crazy.
Dominating athletes in today's sports. I might have sold this early on a tweet this weekend, but if you missed it, I wonder if you'd go or I will go on this topic. Plus a little football at 5.
Are you saying between me and you, dominating athletes?
Just in general, yes.
I
am a dominating athlete.
Okay, well,
yes.
okay.
Football at 5 coming up, including, did the Jags share their grading system? And does it really matter, or is this much to do about nothing? The football at 5 coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. Oh, dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email, so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report, backed by the most robust database of technician solutions. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half? That feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Where else can you get lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. Yeah, they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunchin', brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Sometimes a family needs a little help to deal with life stresses. You can contribute to happy, healthy childhoods with a few simple steps. Notice families under stress. Offer a helping hand. Give your time. Talk about healthy child development. Connect a family with resources. Contributing to a great childhood can be as easy as being a good neighbor. For more, PreventChildAbuseFL.org. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Jackson.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. I'm out of there. That was the response of Falcons receiver Julio Jones when asked today on FS1 if he wants to stay in Atlanta. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Falcons asking for a first-round pick for Jones. This first day of OTAs, a significant one in the standoff between quarterback Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. ESPN's Rob Domofsky reports that Rodgers did not report today. He was at OTAs in years past. Rodgers still wants out of Green Bay. Team has no plans to trade him. With no Rodgers, all eyes will be on QB Jordan Love, explains ESPN's Dan Graziano.
This week will be Jordan Love's first chance to run the Packers offense since last year's training camp, and the coaching staff is going to be watching to see what kind of improvement he shows in terms of his command of the offense. So pretty big couple of weeks coming up here for Jordan Love, whether he ends up having to be the Packers starting quarterback this year or not.
NBA star Donovan Mitchell angered by Utah's late decision to scratch him from the series opening loss to the Grizzlies, and it deepened tensions with the team regarding his recovery from a right ankle sprain, reports ESPN's Brian Windhorst and Tim McMahon.
It's the perfect season to power your passions during Dell's summer sale event. Limited quantity deals include up to $400 off Dell XPS computers and Alienware systems, all powered by Intel Core processors. Just call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I don't think you can make statements, versus a team like this, the defending champs. They've been down this road before, but, we just have to worry about ourselves, honestly. Just come in with the, ready to play for a full 48 minutes, and then that's it.
I didn't hear all of it. Was it Anthony Davis? I'm guessing.
He sounded pretty bummed.
Right playoff matchup. Wrong player.
Oh, it wasn't LeBron then?
Wrong team. That wasn't LeBron, was it?
So then that was Phoenix?
Kind of wrong team, too.
Yeah, kind of wrong.
Wait, what are you?
Definitely wrong team.
So it was Phoenix.
This was Phoenix?
Yes.
He sounded disappointed.
Was that Paul?
Chris Paul?
No.
Devin Booker?
Yes.
There it is. Finally got there. Be a little happier. You just beat the Lakers.
I thought for sure it was Davis. Davis had come out and said, basically blamed himself. He played awful, right?
Yeah.
13 points or something.
Coos, can you play just a little bit of that? Maybe I just misheard it. He sounded like he was pretty bummed.
I don't think you can make statements, versus a team like this, the defending champs.
I guess that's we should have listened to that part.
Probably should have listened to a little more. Okay.
We missed the first few words.
Yep, there it is. Okay, that's a Devin Booker. Okay.
We got to stop telling stories in breaks.
Oh, but it's too fun, Brent. See, this is why we got to get like the Patreon where you can sign up for the behind the scenes.
Patreon, yes.
The stuff that's too hot to air on radio.
Here's the money-making idea is we start a second podcast called Off the Air, Action Sports Off the Air, and it's just the random things we talk about every week.
I think it's got to be Patreon because some of the things that we discuss,
that's fair.
You better be paying for it.
Yeah, we want something in return.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Because probably getting fired at some point.
Yeah. Football at 5. Brent, Austin, Coos here on a Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Phil Mickelson continues to be a big story. Good one for the old guys. Just talked a little bit about Brooks Koepka. Go a little football talk here.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jaguars, this is a great series Jags have, the Hunt. And it's behind the scenes look. Jaguars.com puts it on. I tweeted about it last week. We've shared it before. And there's a lot of storylines, like Pro Football Talk coming out, and other stories have been written off this episode of where the Jaguars show, Shad Khan putting up Trevor Lawrence's name on their draft board. It says, basically pick one, round one. And then pick round 1, pick 25, and it's Travis Etienne and Urban Meyer's putting it up. It's just part of the process. Kind of cool scene, some cool video. But in that process, if you freeze frame some of those images, you can see all these numbers next to players, like who Waddle ends up going to the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And what his there was all these numbers like height, weight, 40 time, and then other numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the narrative coming out of this video is that everybody peeked in on the numbers of some, and some say Waddle's grade was as high as Trevor Lawrence's grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like this whole thing is a little bit overblown. I think this is overly dramatic for a couple of reasons. Somebody asked me on Twitter about it. I said, listen, I don't know what some of these numbers mean. I have no idea. I would imagine to each team they do it a little bit different. I'm sure there's Like, if I asked some GM in Atlanta what these numbers mean, I bet they could tell me.
Correct.
But I also think there's probably a different twist, and who knows how Urban Meyer helps build this thing. And Trent Baalke's team probably builds a lot of it, but
and who knows like how accurate this even is per se. Like it could
have put anything
for
up
theatrics.
there. Yeah. I don't think that's the case. I think they got the video at the time.
Okay.
I don't think they were bringing Shad Khan back in the room to do this.
I got
is
you.
my point. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying, but I just don't. Let's just take the Waddle-Trevor Lawrence comparison. Here's my take on it. There's this number like 8.0, which is what appears to be the draft grade. And so people are like, well, Waddle had the same grade as Trevor Lawrence. Well, I don't think that's true. I think what happened is you grade the position.
Sure.
And so Trevor Lawrence got an 8 with quarterbacks. I think Waddle had an 8 as well with receivers.
Yeah.
And I think Travis Etienne's number was 7. So was there another running back ahead of him? Did they view him as a receiver and therefore Kadarius Toney or even a Waddle was maybe graded ahead of him? That certainly could have been the case. So I don't know, but I think it's kind of funny to see all the reaction to it. And what does it mean anyway? Who cares if Waddle was ranked as high as Trevor Lawrence?
Well, see, and that's the thing, though. I mean, was it like, do you get the sense that Waddle was the best wide receiver of the draft, or would you put Jamar Chase over him?
Well, I could easily knock Jamar Chase down. Listen, going into last year, I'd say Jamar Chase was going to be the guy, but I could easily knock him down a little bit. And Waddle is certainly talented enough to fit in the category.
Yeah.
But would you knock Chase down for? Well, he didn't play at all. So does that scare you a little bit? He played as part of that great offense at LSU when the last you saw him. Does that scare you a little bit? Waddle, does it scare you a little bit that he got hurt? So I don't know, but is it really that far-fetched that they thought Waddle was a better receiver than Jamar Chase? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, listen, I have no idea. You could speculate, but it could mean a various. I mean, it could have been a ranking based off of I don't know. There's a lot of things that it could have been. It's hard to speculate off.
It's like,
I'm trying to go back right now because I'm trying to. Cause I saw it on my cell phone, but I'm trying to screen cap it on the large screen, see if I can see any more details. Because now I'm curious.
But I mean, in the big picture, what I'm trying to figure out, man. Like, it's cool behind the scenes stuff. I'd love to know what all the numbers mean.
Yes.
Like, I have a curiosity now. But what I don't understand is if X player you only get 2 picks in the first round. Like, you can have a lot of good players ranked in similar fashion, but you're only taking 2 players.
Yeah.
And you got to take what's left on the board. So is it really that far-fetched that some players were ranked in the same category? I don't think so. But I also don't think I care that much. Like, it doesn't matter. Now, I think there's a little food for thought on the Zach Wilson stuff. Right, if Zach Wilson wasn't, some people speculate because of those numbers, wasn't ranked nearly as high. But so was he like the 5th quarterback off the board for the Jags? Like, I don't know. Does that matter?
Do you get the sense too? I mean, were they just going over? Like, so I'm kind of confused here. So could the draft have already been going on when he put these things up? And it's like, all right, Waddle went to Miami, so that's the guy that we had our eye on, but now he's gone, so we put him into Trevor Lawrence because that was the guy that was on the list.
It was more the number. That's what happened. It's on that board, but it's more the number on the piece of paper or magnet for this case. That what it says, and that's what people are debating and are curious about.
I got you.
I'm just really having a hard time finding the value in the story.
Yeah.
Other than a curiosity.
No, I mean, we love to speculate about everything. I get it. I'm not going to lose sleep about it, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm trying to go back to the moment that it happened just so I can break it down one more time, but, I'm not going to lose sleep regardless.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to bring this up. I just was like, I see it being talked about so much, and Pro Football Talk is one that tweeted it out that kind of got everybody talking about it. What I'm actually just as curious is now internally, are there people ticked off that it was up there? And they let it slip? I tell you this, I know for a fact that when you make something like that, it goes through layers of approval. The Jags just don't have somebody edit that, and it goes out. Yeah. There's layers of approval there to get, is this okay to go out there? So
it's also after the fact now. Like, it doesn't really matter if you know who you want to take or not.
4 people would have had to say, yeah, that's okay to go out there.
Yeah,
right?
And we've also had a head coach that came out and said many times Kadarius Toney was his guy. So I don't think they're going to,
Yeah, and what it was interesting to me there, Austin, is he said he was the word? His heart broke, right?
Yes.
When Kadarius Toney.
Yes.
But now I wonder if that was a little bit of a smoke screen and some love to the Gator or whatever, because really it's if Waddle was ranked as high as he was ranked, his heart broke when Waddle got picked. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's kind of funny. It's a funny thing. It's cool that we go behind the scenes. And in reality, there's no difference. You see, Mike Silver's written these articles in the past. Peter King, I thought, was going to write more of this kind of article in Jacksonville this draft time. You see it all the time where, in these post-draft articles, teams are like, well, we really like this guy, but they got picked ahead of us. I mean, what's the difference if you saw 3 names on their draft board that might indicate, hey, you know what? They liked Waddle. They liked X player. They liked this player. Well, that's no different than an article being written about you on draft day, taking you a little bit behind the scenes. We just kind of got a glimpse of it. And the funniest thing is we have no idea if we're right about what these numbers even mean. Like, I just don't think people have any idea.
So it's interesting here because I'm seeing this tweet. I'm looking at it. So it appears... So there's another screenshot of where it shows Waddle. So it's the Dolphins who they took, which makes sense. Okay, so they got Waddle.
Yeah, they're just keeping track of the board.
Javon Holland. So they gave Jalen Waddle an 8.0. If you go off of the NFL Network, NFL.com grading scale, 8.0 is the highest that you can take. And 8.0 calls it the perfect prospect. 7.5 to 7.3 is a perennial all-pro talent. 7.1 to 7 is a Pro Bowl talent, day one starter, and so on. So 8.0, according to this, now once again, I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it does have the same color scheme as what they're using on the board because there's different colors for each thing.
And so where did this one come from?
This is according to the NFLnetwork.com grading scale, whatever that means.
So if their scale's similar. Now, again, they have people like Daniel Jeremiah that worked in scouting departments, and maybe they all follow a similar thing. So I'm not saying that's false.
No, for sure. The 8.0, though, is the highest grade, and the description is as follows. Performs at the highest levels the league has ever seen at this position, possesses elite physical traits and skill, rare college production, very durable, and lives for the game. The grade is close to unattainable. So take that for how you want. I don't know how much I'm buying into this or not, but this is according to the NFL grading scale, so NFL.com.
Here's what's fascinating, okay? Let's just say everybody's right about the numbers, and that's the scale they're going off. And Trevor Lawrence is an 8, and so is Waddle, okay? Well, first of all, guess what? They got one of those guys that has an 8. Like, they got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who else they got at the quarterback.
Yeah.
What I think is the fascinating part, this is what I would be. If this story turns into information, this next bit of information, and we can get it, I'd be fascinated.
Yeah.
How close were the Jags of trying to move up to get Waddle before the Dolphins picked him? Like, why, if they really did feel that good about Waddle, because we said this going into the draft, Austin, who has to slip down to 14, 15, 16 to where maybe the Jags take some of that capital and move up? Well, if they really liked Waddle that much, why didn't they jump up to number 15? Or 16. And maybe they tried. Maybe they tried and maybe nobody wanted to dance with him, or maybe the right compensation didn't make sense to him. But if they really felt that strongly about one of the players, I would like that. That would be a cool answer to find out if the numbers add up and if the narrative of, hey, Waddle was graded as high as Trevor Lawrence and all this stuff, and they really loved him. That's the part that if you can get me that bit of information, I'll take it. Because I think that would be pretty interesting.
Well, if you really want to buy into the conspiracy theory here, you want to make a big deal about it, I would almost go down to even more of a bigger news as Javon Holland, safety second round, where they gave him a 6.8. And a 6.8 is a year quality 1 starter. So then it begs the question, well, if you gave him, he's going to start year 1, then where the heck was Trevon Merrick? Because you obviously must have had him lower if it's the starter. So that's interesting as well.
Well, and to that point, if you want to, like, Cisco, I think, was pretty high on their board too, but Merrick was somebody that I think it was either Balky or Meyer actually mentioned by name after they picked Cisco or on that weekend, maybe wrapping up the draft. He actually mentioned Merrick, very good player, talented, all this stuff. So, like, was under consideration. I don't think they ever brought up Holland in that kind of conversation, but where they ranked those guys would have been an interesting deal. But
and then they also had Phillips at a 7.5, which is pretty impressive.
Jalen Phillips out of Miami.
Yep, which is a perennial all-pro possible. Once again, if you believe in this list or not.
Yeah, so it's just, here's the thing. I would think everybody's boards look like this. Guess what? They have grades like there are 15 players we love. Guess what? We only have one pick in the top 15.
No, for sure.
You only get one of them.
But
So-
then, it begs the question: what was Tony at, and what was Travis Etienne at?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like that, and ETN is at a 7. What's the 7 on the scale again? Just give us a sense of how they feel.
Oh, he's on a 7.
He was a 7.
If you go by this, it could be a Pro Bowl talent, day 1 starter.
Well, that's how strongly they feel about him.
There
That's
you
why
go.
he's a first-round guy.
Yep.
You know, we're looking at it from a change the offense kind of guy and weapon for him to use, but long-term, that's how their scouting department potentially, if
Yes.
that scale is
If
correct
you
and if they
value
fall in
the
line
scale.
with that scale.
Do you have the other guys? What they were? Because I can't remember how the show went down. You just saw ETN.
I think it was just a couple of them that we got a glimpse of.
Okay.
It wasn't like all of them
Okay.
out there.
Okay.
Unless I didn't look
When I'm
close enough
curious,
either.
yeah.
But I watched the episode. I didn't stop it and zoom in like everybody else did. I
Sure,
saw it,
sure.
and it was notable to me. Like that, wow, okay, they're getting a little bit, like that board is sacred, you know.
Yes.
Like that is a sacred thing. But it's a sacred thing kind of before the draft. You know, and after the draft, I'm not sure really how much it matters that much. We can keep the scoreboard, but are we going to keep the scoreboard on the field anyway? Like if the Jags could have had somebody else at 28 that went 28, we're going to let them know all about that for the next 5 years anyway if he
True.
outperforms ETN.
True. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what that number says at the end of the day. That's the thing that's kind of interesting to me coming off the weekend.
Oh wow, yeah, because they got Cisco here. Okay, so see now I'm
you're
all in.
intrigued.
Now
Now you're
because
in on
they got the things right here. So Cisco's a 6.9, and then Jay Tufeli is 6.4.
Well, that's a heck of a grade for a 4th-round pick.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If it goes by that scale.
Which, yeah, do you buy into that or not? Value. And here's another thing too. If they're in the red, this person says, which makes sense. If they're in the red, that means that they're coming off an injury.
Wow, there you go. So maybe they use that scale.
Maybe this is a scale. Maybe we just unlocked the golden ticket here. Interesting.
But even if we did, that's good information to have. But what does it mean?
Well, it means exactly who's going to be starting. Like, so for instance, if we go off this scale, Andrew Cisco, 6.9, that means that he's a year 1 quality starter. That's where they evaluated him.
But as what pick was he? Was he
65,
right?
Yes.
Well, but doesn't kind of being in the top 65 picks kind of indicate that to us anyway? I didn't need that scale to say that.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it begs, was Quincy Williams at? You know?
Well, now that's fair. Like if we could get them all for the rest of the picks that have ever gone, yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But, like, don't you think in a way, like, they almost maybe wanted this out there? This kind of shows you this, how they look at a guy like Tufeli and the value that they got for him at pick number whatever.
Yep.
Right? What was that, 106 or something?
Yep.
So,
by the way, and Walker Little is a year 1 quality starter as well,
yeah.
obviously.
And where he went at 45, you would think that, right? He drops down because of the injury. So, again, I just don't know, like, can we be too surprised? It's fascinating to look at. I understand that. I just don't, like, I don't know what narrative we're trying to build, especially with the Waddle one. That's the one I saw a lot. It's like, Waddle's graded the same as Trevor Lawrence. Well, is he really? I mean, the quarterback's way more valuable than the wide receiver. So, no, he's not.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, are you trying to suggest that there was conversation between taking Trevor Lawrence or Jalen Waddle? Like, we all know that wasn't the case.
No, for sure. Like I said, if you just go up the list, he was a top prospect at his position. Enough said.
Yeah, interesting.
Very
pretty
interesting,
wild.
Yeah.
Hey, got something for you real quick. I tweeted about this over the weekend. If you think of dominating athletes at their sport right now, where does your mind go?
Dominating athletes at their sport. So any kind of sport we can...
Yeah, like Khabib, right?
Khabib. Well, yeah.
But now he's retired. But he retired undefeated.
Correct.
So
Dominating
MMA,
athlete.
bam.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. We're going sport by sport here?
We don't have to go. I'm just who comes to mind
Okay.
that dominates right now in the modern day. Like Tiger Woods doesn't dominate right now. He did.
No,
but he doesn't. Like Shohei Ohtani, I mean, he's kind of dominating right now. I mean, that could fit.
Yeah. No, for sure. Ohtani, for football, I mean, I get it. He had a rough Super Bowl a little bit, but you still have to go Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the dominating quarterback at most important position.
Very hard sport to dominate.
Yep.
Right?
And also Aaron Donald as well, just because you can't block him. So that's dominating. NBA is tough because there's a lot of names you can go with.
Yeah. I don't know if there's one right now. Again, given the age of LeBron. And
yeah. I mean, I would say Giannis, but like even Giannis, like there's times where he's not dominant. I don't know. The NBA is hard. Let's come back to that.
Listen, Serena Williams was in this conversation.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, the gymnastics girl who just did the
and that's exactly where I'm going.
What was it? So, what do they call it? Yeah, she's dominant, obviously.
So that's where I'm going with it,
Yeah.
and that's what I tweeted. I don't know. You might have missed that over the week. I
Simone
saw her
Biles.
do it.
Yeah.
But I said Simone Biles, in my opinion, is the most dominating athlete we have in sports right now. Like, she is the most, like, I don't know if it's more fun to watch a more dominating player or athlete than her. You know, Usain Bolt, by the way, brings us up. It's not a mainstream sport, but we'd kind of all tune in when Usain Bolt ran.
Sure.
Right? He was dominating.
Phelps.
It was unbelievable. Phelps was like that in
Was must-see
swimming,
TV.
right? And it's amazing how sometimes those the athletes, even in the sports that aren't mainstream in our world, I put in quotes, you still lock in to watch them.
Absolutely.
Well, Simone Biles, and by the way, gymnastics in Summer Olympics is such a huge deal anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So big time that everybody does tune in. I mean, again, nobody tunes in for 47 months.
What is it? No, for sure.
For that month.
What is it about women's gymnastics? Because to me, Summer Olympics, it's women's gymnastics. It used to be swimming and
Ice
like
skating.
track.
It's ice skating in the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, but it's women's gymnastics is like the must-see thing.
It is. It's the marquee event
And
of
by
the
way,
Olympics.
The men's Olympics are just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Gymnastics.
Well, it's wild, right? And I mean, from Mary Lou Retton to now Simone Biles.
Carrie Strug.
Yeah, they've all. You can name gymnasts. That's the point, right?
Correct. I can't name one male gymnast.
And by the way, figure skating is like that too.
True.
Where the women's figure skating is like the dominant event.
True.
And there are a lot of great events, and I think it's somewhat debatable and arguable, but go look at the ratings, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that gymnastics, it's in prime time, and figure skating, it's in prime time for a reason. And that is one of the most odd dynamics like we have, because nobody else really, well, I'm going to say nobody, but nobody else watched it in prime time the other 47 months between Olympics.
That's true. No one's like really tuning in for the world championships per se.
But Simone Biles has changed. She is doing things that like men are doing and no women are doing. Like, and she is so entertaining to watch to begin with. Like, it's like, holy cow. Like, how many times you watch people in athletics and you're like, holy cow. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Hard to do this day and age. We've almost feel like we've seen it all. That's what made Phil Mickelson winning such a big deal. Not like he hit the shot that we've never seen. It's that a 51-year-old guy just won a major.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, Simone Biles to me, and she's so much ahead of everybody else. Like, I think there's even that conversation in her sport that it's almost unfair because she's, from a degree of difficulty standpoint, she's in her own league, in her own world, and degree of difficulty is an important part of judging gymnastics.
For sure. And when you talk about a sport like gymnastics, where you have to be the uber athlete, where you have to have the athleticism, the core strength, the mobility, the flexibility, all this stuff. I mean, she's at the top of her game in a sport that really defies what an athlete, in my opinion, is. Like, if you see a gymnast, it's like, okay, you've never ate a carb in your entire life, it seems like. You're absolutely shredded out of your mind, with all due respect. I mean that in the positive way. But it's like the strength and the speed that she has, it's insane.
Yeah, I think if you sit back and wonder now, you can take any sport you want. I just don't think we have a more dominating athlete, men or woman, in sport like her. And maybe you can find one. There might be one in the running world. There might be one in the bowling world. There might be one in the bull riding world. There might be one that I'm not thinking about. But I watch these Twitter videos and I watch these clips of Simone Biles, and I am captivated by not only her ability, but her dominance. Like, nobody is coming close to what she's doing. It would be like Tom Brady throwing 60 touchdowns and the rest of the league throwing 30. That doesn't happen. Like, that's why Patrick Mahomes isn't necessarily dominating the sport. See, Ohtani's kind of dominating the sport because he's doing something nobody else is doing. He's hitting and he's pitching at a high level.
So the only other sport that comes to mind is Formula One racing and Lewis Hamilton, because what Lewis Hamilton is doing, because the guy either wins or he gets second like every single race. And I think he's tied right now for championships with Schumacher, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And he's going to break it. I mean, the guy's super young. But once again, like, you have the car. You have Mercedes-Benz behind you. Nobody can beat them. It's just Simone Biles and the work that she's put in.
Yeah.
So, like, advantage, in my opinion, Simone Biles. Lewis Hamilton's very impressive himself.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
But it's not like she's using a different balance beam or a vault.
No. I mean, she's
right.
it's the fair competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyway, I just thought that was interesting over the week. And get ready for it. I mean, the Olympics are coming up, and there'll be a lot of Simone Biles talk.
As there should be.
Once again, I think she's fascinating and electric. And we love that in sports. It doesn't have to... Shoot, man, it could be a chess player. But we love that part of sports. And it defies what everybody else can do.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's interesting about you. You play you MMA, National Football League. You couldn't do what she does.
No.
That's what's unbelievable, right?
No, I'm not crazy. What are you talking about? I can't. I'm not gonna project, like, vault myself. No, there's no way. It's
very few people
can
do
hurt
that.
myself.
Nobody
No.
can
I
do
would
what
tear
she's
a hamstring sprinting down to the vault. No.
All right, we'll be back.
And
Action
she could
Sports
probably
Jacks.
throw a punch too.
Oh,
She probably could. She got the core strength.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Coming back here on a Monday.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and hot today. Will rise into the low 90s this afternoon. Slightly cooler at the beaches, into the upper 80s with a moderate to high rip current risk. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where you get the lowest diamond price guaranteed or your money back.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make six figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Summer dreams start in your new Toyota, so check out my friends over at Arlington Toyota. With over 700 new Toyotas available, a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty, 30 days to love it or exchange it, and 3 years of complimentary maintenance, why wouldn't you buy new from Arlington Toyota? Plus, you can score some great deals during the Summer Starts Here sales event going on right now. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/May for full details.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
At Movember, we're best known for the mustache. Well, here's the thing. Men's health deserves support year-round, which is why we're more than a month, more than mustaches. All year round, we're doing more. We're delivering more research, more treatments, doing more to help men live happier, healthier, longer lives. But we need your support, because the more we can do, the more fathers, brothers, partners, sons we can protect. Movember, more than a month. Give monthly at Movember.com.
You know what's good today? Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. If your beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's working hard every day and getting almost everyone approved. With over 300 pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from, Arlington has what you're looking for. So much selection. You also get a 30-day exchange policy with your purchase. That's 30 days to love it or exchange it. Now that's good. Shop in person at 10939 Atlanta Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Here in the Sunshine State, more than 3 million men are over age 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Brown. If you're having problems in the bedroom and pills like Viagra have let you down, you'll see results at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your exam is free. And it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. Guaranteed results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
CMG Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit cmglocalsolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. That's cmglocalsolutions.com or call 904-245-8878.
In these unprecedented times, nurses on the front lines continue to deliver treatment and care under some extreme medical and environmental conditions. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. If you are a nurse or other licensed healthcare professional and currently face an investigation or complaint that threatens your professional license, let us help you protect your rights. Call us at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
One of the more difficult issues facing small businesses today is having enough work to keep good employees. What if your business was affected by a sudden or extended drop in income because of COVID-19? What can be done to ensure that the people who are your top performers remain with you? Many of our SCORE volunteers have faced similar situations and willing to share their expertise. Take advantage of the opportunity to gain their knowledge by registering to participate in a SCORE webinar or schedule a free confidential meeting with a counselor at jacksonville.score.org.
Hi, I'm Stuart Weber of Action News Jax and the honorary chair of the Jacksonville Take Steps Walk, June 5th at TIAA Bank Field. Take Steps is the largest community fundraising walk dedicated to finding a cure for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Take Steps Walk will connect you with other patients and families in your community while furthering the foundation's mission to find a cure. Learn more at cctakesteps.org/Jacksonville 2021.
Brent Martineau.
Never heard of what happened in Iowa yesterday, and I don't even know how to pronounce the name of it. Derecho.
Austin Lane.
Iowa State Cyclones. Should call them the Derechos. You can shorten it up, call them the Chos. Why not, man? I'm into it.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
But look, Russell Wilson's very, again, another thing Pete Carroll said there. Russell Wilson knows everything he says and what it means. So I don't think he's going to be the kind of guy who's going to be in a position where if things are going poorly, he's going to try and make it worse. I think he's going to do everything he can to make sure that they have the best chance possible, and I think they will. I think they'll compete in a tough division. They seemingly always do. So I think this, my expectation is this gets put on the shelf until next offseason.
I think that was Graziano. What was he talking about?
Russell Wilson.
We're still talking about Russell Wilson?
I guess so, man.
What are we just like?
Sorry, dude. Now
are we spinning? Are we just
now you had me in gymnastics
issues?
Now you got me down a rabbit hole of gymnastics real quick.
So tell us what you
So
found
this is
out.
crazy. So the New York Times put out this article. So with Simone Biles, because she attempted something that no woman has ever done before, and I'm trying to pronounce. So it's the Yurchenko double pike. First time she's ever done it. It's ever been done, whatever. They scored it a 6.6, which is actually really low. And the whole theory is they don't want women attempting this because it's so dangerous. So in doing so, they're actually taking the score down because they don't want to see this, I guess, in competitions. They're trying to discourage it, yeah.
Because it's people get hurt.
Correct.
Potentially.
Correct. So, yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I understand the logic in it, but I think it's dumb.
So, but I guess she knew this though as well, because they assign the start values before she even goes out, right?
Yeah,
so there's a maximum amount of points.
Degree of difficulty.
Correct.
Was, yeah.
They assign this move, which is obviously very hard and it's a dangerous move, one of the lowest start values, knowing that she's going to try it.
Yeah, but she kind of did it to a little bit make history.
Of course.
Right.
And by the way, the leotard that she was rocking, it had a goat on it, on the back. So say no more, Simone Biles. Do what you got to do.
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but Simone Biles cashing in on the endorsements.
Yes. Yeah, she's. I saw her in a commercial with the dude from Queer Eye. What's the Uber Eats?
Oh, she was in Uber Eats.
Yeah, she's in Uber Eats. Yes. Yes.
All right. Hey, I think you mentioned pike. I think that's a fish. I think degree of difficulty.
Up north. Yeah, it would be a fish.
Degree of difficulty. Very high on the waters over the last week and a half or so. Hopefully getting better. Let's bring in our Florida Sportsman Fishing Report with Rick Rouse right now. I hope you had a good weekend, man.
Brent, how are you?
Good. How's the water?
Good deal. It's a whole lot better than it was last week, I promise you. Really, really nice ocean. Started out a little nasty, but got better and better and better as the day went on. And it's going to be a beautiful week north. Johnson, both Jody Lynn boats today had good catches of mahi, had about a dozen apiece with a couple of tunas and a wahoo thrown in. Josh Green and myself were on the 7 today. We had 14 mahi and could have had more. There were plenty to be caught for the first time all year long. And the best news is I like the way our weather's shaping up for the whole rest of the week, Brent. I tell you, all the guys that were cussing the weather last week are loving it this week. There is going to be a pile of fish caught this week as we come on to this next full moon. I tell you, we're going to be back tomorrow, but I'm predicting it's going to be another great report. And as always, it'll be brought to you by Workman's Quick Fix Plumbing.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good night, man. We appreciate it. Rick Rouse, hopefully with a good forecast for the week of fishing. Make sure you check out all the reports, Florida Sportsman Fishing Report, right here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, 5:15 usually on ESPN 690. Catch the show Saturday morning, 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock on ESPN 690. You notice I have my Red Sox shirt on.
I see you, yes, of course, repping them.
This is kind of like maybe the last day I could support the first place Red Sox.
Brent, have one more confidence in your team, though, huh?
It's been a nice run. We're 50 games into the Major League Baseball season.
This has been
highly unexpected.
Yep.
The Rays have won 11 in a row, and we still held off the Rays up until this point.
Yes.
But the Rays just won in extra innings and now have taken a half a game lead. And the Yankees are sitting right there 1 game back. So we're in dangerous territory.
Stantonless.
Yeah. There's been a little separation between Toronto and the other three.
Baltimore is going to be Baltimore.
And Baltimore actually got off to a better start this year. Played better ball, but still, they're Baltimore. They can't hang with those guys. You got to remember now, the Red Sox were picked easily 4th and some people 5th in that division. Like, they're supposed to be terrible this year. They have outperformed. Alex Cora doing a great job as manager once again.
Let me ask you this. Biggest disappointment so far in Major League Baseball? Minnesota Twins?
Absolutely. It's got to be. And that's my man, Rocco Baldelli. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But, he's got to be the biggest disappointment. I think there are good stories. The Orioles, again, I think have done okay. They're starting to slide now. They've lost 6 in a row, and so have the Blue Jays, by the way. Kansas City Royals hanging around, I think, is a nice story. I don't think anybody saw them right around 500. Another disappointing year, by the way. Minnesota's disappointing, but so is Los Angeles. I mean, the Angels, they have the 2 best players in the game, and I know one's on the shelf right now, but they still find themselves 7.5 games back.
Yeah.
So they just can't find a way to win. Whatever, they've tried a lot of different things. The Angels, I pick them every year to kind of, this is the year to make the run, and they just don't do it. So they've been disappointing. You look around, the Mets lead the NL East, the Cardinals in the Central, and everybody's in that. Even the Pirates are only 8 games back.
Careful.
They're not really in it.
Yeah,
I would say Cincinnati's not really in it.
Thank you, Brent. Come on.
And then again, you're talking about a San Diego Padres team that's won 9 in a row. Yeah. Tampa's won 11 in a row. The Padres have won 9 in a row. Tampa won 11 in a row, just got into first place this afternoon because the Red Sox are idle.
Yes.
And the Padres have won 9 in a row. And all that is good enough to have a 1-game lead over the Dodgers, who have won 7 in a row.
And the Giants playing a good brand of baseball right now, too.
They've been very good until they got swept by the Dodgers this week. So now you got to wonder, is this the start of both the Red Sox
we are who they thought they were,
and the Giants kind of slipping a bit? They've already outperformed, I think, way a lot of people thought they'd be. But the sunshine and rainbows, brought to you by A1A Solar, is the Red Sox have had a good run in first place. And hopefully we'll get back to the top of the mountain soon. But the AL East, the NL West, fascinating divisions. The Central always is fascinating in the NL. And I think the NL East is pretty good, except I just think, I don't know who's very good there.
What about the Athletics still in first place, 28-20? They're always like that
always
team that's,
always do it. And Houston's going to be right there.
I can't even name like 3 Athletics players, I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And they're still doing the dang thing.
Chapman's still playing for them, I think, right? I mean, he's a pretty good player over there at third. But, the Oakland A's have done it again. Sunshine and Rainbows, brought to you by A1A Solar. Every day here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. I've got some Sunshine and Rainbows for you. How about need a good paying job with flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000, a reasonable first-year expectation. If you're looking for a job, $70,000, reasonable expectation at A1A Solar. Visit A1ASolar.com, a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville recently, and was the veteran-owned business of the year. Be a part of an awesome company. A1A Solar. Visit A1ASolar.com. Let's put a bow on the show when we come back here on a Monday. Talk a little more football to close things out on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Congratulations go out to Phil Mickelson, who picked up his 6th victory and at 50 years old became the oldest golfer to ever win a major in the 161 years of major championship golf. Here he is afterwards describing what the victory means to him.
One of the moments I'll cherish my entire life. And I don't know how to describe the feeling of excitement and fulfillment and accomplishment to do something when at this magnitude when very few people thought that I could. But the point is that there's no reason why I or anybody else can't do it at a later age. It just takes a little bit more work.
And over the weekend, the Jags lost another staff member. Special teams coordinator Brian Schneider is now leaving the team indefinitely for personal reasons. That happened on Friday evening. This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
We are into that travel, baseball, and softball season now for the kids, and with that, we need a reliable car, and we need folks that are tremendous at customer service just in case we need their help. Well, the place to go is Fields Auto Group. That's what we did. My wife loves leasing her Cadillac XT6 from Fields Cadillac, part of the Fields Auto Group. It's safe. We can trust Fields Auto Group, and hey, it's luxury for less while you're on the road. Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine are part of the Fields Auto Group family. There's also Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. It's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We've tried the loaner program, gone in for routine service, and every experience with Fields Auto Group has been first class. Whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations around Jacksonville. Just visit fieldsauto.com. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talent Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 10, you have a right to safety. Many businesses have a duty to keep their property safe from violence. This applies to apartments, shopping centers, and other businesses. They may have to provide appropriate lighting, secure windows, gates, as well as on-site security. At Rubenstein Law, we offer a free evaluation of your case if you or a loved one have been assaulted. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Colehan's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. ColehansIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Colehan's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution.
I'm Dr. Brown. 98% of patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call Prime Men's Medical Center at 904-664-8217. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Are you curious about marijuana? Florida A&M University established the Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, also known as MARY, to educate the public about medical marijuana use as well as the detrimental health and social impacts of unlawful marijuana use on local communities. Find out more at mmeri.famu.edu.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Vote for this week's ESPN 690 High School Athlete of the Week, presented by Honda of the Avenues. Each week, an athlete with the most votes will be announced on Action Sports Jacks. To vote or nominate your favorite student athlete, go to ESPN690.com or check us out on ESPN 690's Facebook page.
What we were reminded of once again is that for all athletes, if you spend your lifetime demonstrating to the fans that you care about them, they will love you forever. And that is a lesson that I hope all sports people will take from this weekend. Not just that Phil did what he did at the age of 50, which is remarkable and historic and wonderful, and from a purely sporting standpoint, meaning from what it meant for the game of golf itself, it's obviously extraordinary. He sets the record. He is now the oldest major champion in the history of the sport and will be, I think, for a very long time. But to me, that isn't even the most important thing that happened. The most important thing that happened to me was the love that came back in his direction, and that happened for one reason and one reason only, because he has earned it.
It's Mike Greenberg on Phil Mickelson. I don't know if there's a lot more to say on Phil Mickelson. It's one for the old guys.
I got 2 text messages about this, and one of my friends actually wanted me to ask you the question, and I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to give him. I don't want to. It's whatever. Do you know what kind of shades Phil Mickelson was rocking? Because Phil Mickelson's sunglasses was trending yesterday on Twitter.
Oh, it was?
Yes. And literally nobody knows what kind of shades that guy's rocking. And trust me, I've Googled it. I've tried to dive deep, and I cannot find the solution. I'm not sure.
I know, and I know that's CBD gummies chomping on.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see what...
big wad in there, too.
Careful now, all right? We're a sports show. Apparently, we can't sometimes,
Oh, you're not allowed to say that?
All right.
Did you see what...
Gum.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I wish I could endorse it, but
The Bubblicious was really strong. There for Phil.
Put him in the zone.
I don't know where the sunglasses. I haven't read up on the sunglass thing, but it's like that's a thing now.
They're popular.
It's like Eric Church.
Yeah. Oh, I like that Eric Church comparison.
They kind of look like Oakleys a little bit.
Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely it's like some foreign European kind of thing, I think.
But did you see the text conversation from, I guess it was either Phil Mickelson's wife's mom or someone's mom was texting his wife to relay information? Did you see that?
No.
The text said, Tina, text Philip, tell him just go for par. Don't hit bombs or activate the calves. Just par. They have to catch him.
He does have a crazy pair of calves on him. They're ridiculous.
Don't activate the calves.
That's great.
I think the beauty of the Phil thing is in that moment, you can kind of tell he felt like all of us would feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Koepka's ice cold. And so if he's leading by, you don't have the sense that you think he's going to make every putt and hit every shot. Like some people got mad at like Koepka collapse. I said Koepka collapse. He did on the middle holes to me, 5 through 12. Like when I tweeted it, he was down to 2 under par, and I think Phil was at like 7 or 8. Like maybe it was 3 under. He was 5 shots down with like 7. The game was over essentially. Now it wasn't ever really over. He comes back, he makes 2 birdies, but he shot himself out of the tournament. He's coming off knee surgery, all that stuff. But listen, if Mickelson had blown or played that way through 5 through 12, we would have said he collapsed.
True.
I mean, that's just what they set a standard for themselves, in my estimation. And you could say it was a gutty effort by Koepka to even be in position. That's fair. But by his standard, he had played terrible on that stretch of holes. And then did make a couple birdies coming in at least to give it a shot and make it a game. But I think that's part of the thing with Phil. I think that deep breathing, like we would have all been doing it. We would have been trying. Somebody has to coax us into it. Like I mean, I asked Ty. I said, "How much would your hands be shaking on the last tee up by 2 on that golf course?" I mean, and yeah, I think we would. Like, think about the moments you've been in sports.
Dry heaving.
Everybody's been in big moments where they're nervous and stuff, but that's the next level. And even though he's been in a lot, and Ty was like, well, what's the pressure? He's already won 5 of them. Oh, I think there's an enormous amount of pressure on Mickelson. The Mickelson pressure was, first of all, everybody in that crowd wanted to see him win. Yeah. Everybody in their living room wanted to see him win. It was the narrative all week when he got off to the quick start. And you have to know that Father Time might not allow you to do this ever again and be in this position. So I think there was an enormous amount of pressure on Mickelson the last 5, 6, 7 holes not to throw up all over himself.
No, and listen, once again, it is golf. It is what it is. But that's what I've always been so impressed about, because like in football or in fighting, like, yeah, you're nervous and everything, but you can just kind of like grunt your way through it, and like throw power at whatever you got to do. But golf, it's all about finesse and touch. And like to be in that moment with like all those fans and everything, and to have that kind of finesse and touch, that's insane to me. It's almost like shooting a free throw, when the game's on the line too. And we saw that. I'm not sure if you watched the Bucks game, because you watch it. Giannis went into a place he's never gone before, but he was, I'll be honest, person to say, he choked. Like he had the 10-second violation right before overtime on a free throw. 10-second violation. Took too much time because like he was in his own head about it.
When do they ever call that?
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even know that. Like, I knew that was a thing, but I don't think I've ever seen that be called.
Yeah.
When was the last time that's ever been called?
And
like,
I don't know
Elias,
that was a thing.
where are you?
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, I mean, I did, but like
when you grow up, it's a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the last time I've seen that.
But seriously, how does it take you 10 seconds to shoot a free throw? Like,
so
it does. And
so he bricked the first one, and then he was in his own mind.
So he's like thinking about it.
And then all of a sudden he's not doing anything. I'm like, hey, man, let's go. And then boom, they pulled the whistle on him. And of course, the bench is going crazy for Miami, but whatever. Still won the game.
And Jimmy Butler was chirping.
For sure. But like that, you see that though, Brent. Like you see some people just kind of crumble in the pressure situations, and some guys can remain calm. It's a crazy skill to have, and I don't know.
I don't know how to characterize this the right way. I've been thinking about this a lot in the last 24 hours. I think there was so much more pressure on Mickelson in that position because he was ahead and he had a bigger lead. And then it gets down to 3, and then it gets down to 2. And you've got a tough golf course. I mean, there are double bogeys and triple bogeys and bogeys out there. It is a hard course. And so, like, you would think, yeah, Brent, that's where you want to be. You want to be ahead in that spot. Well, no doubt. But it adds this enormous amount of pressure being ahead. Like, you'd much rather be the chaser.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, let's just let it all fly out. There's no expectations
you got
here,
nothing
man.
to lose.
So isn't that great about sports, though? Like, you want to be ahead, but with it comes all this pressure. That's what makes closing in Major League Baseball very difficult. You have to be a different animal. Yeah, you want to be in that spot. You want a one-run lead going into the ninth, but you got to be able to go finish the deal. A lot of pressure on you once those bases start getting filled.
No lie,
That's a beautiful thing about sports. I mean, and we've seen it. I mean, what happened to Atlanta in the Super Bowl? Seriously. They felt the pressure of being ahead, and all they were trying to do was hold the rope and hang on, and they couldn't. It slipped.
Yep.
It's a wild thing. That was a fun day. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Let's get it, man.
Hey, by the way, the Jumbo Shrimp come home tomorrow. We might go out there live tomorrow for the show, but if you want to see like one of the big-time prospects in baseball, the Durham Bulls are coming to town. That's Wander Franco.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Rays. Unbelievable prospect. Might be the only time you get a chance this week to see him.
Do we have confirmation of what zoo animal is going to be on the outfield this week?
We don't.
Well,
but I was thinking about it.
And that makes you curious as well.
It's in my head.
Yes.
Over under on giraffe.
Is he back?
I doubt. I got a feeling the giraffe's gone.
Wow.
They said he comes and goes. I think he's gone.
Really?
I don't know.
That's
we'll
a
find
bummer,
out.
man. That's going to be one of the sad. That's a sad story of sports, though, if he's gone for good.
Where'd he go?
Hey, we'll see you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good night. Back at it tomorrow. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 at 3 p.m.
I'm a call it like I see it guy. Sometimes that twists the competition's panties in a bunch. Sometimes it causes pearl clutching. But it always lets you listeners know the truth. Last January, I told you winter was slow and you could get a deal on upgraded systems because it's true. And here's the truth about summer. Most AC breakdowns happen from stress testing during that first string of scorching hot days in summer, causing every reputable AC company to be booked out at least 2 or more days. Any company not booked solid in summer isn't a company you want in your home. But who wants to sweat it out 2, 3, or more nights waiting for a new AC? At Griffin Service, we've solved the logistics to fix that problem, because we fix what others can't. We call it our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight program. So if you forgot the tune-up in spring and things go to turd buckets in summer, don't sweat it out waiting. Call Griffin for our Sign Today, Sleep Cool Tonight guarantee, exclusively at
GriffinService.com.
CMC 1250697.
Need a good paying job with a flexible work schedule and benefits? A1A Solar is looking for you. $70,000 is a reasonable first-year expectation. Seasoned reps can easily make 6 figures. Leads provided to you as well. Health, dental, 401k benefits. A1A Solar is a tremendous company, voted best places to work in Jacksonville, and in 2016 was the Veteran-Owned Business of the Year. Be a part of an awesome company at A1A Solar. Just go visit A1ASolar.com.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road in a new 2021 Toyota. So rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer, on average, got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Jacksonville and throughout Florida.
All right, boss, that's the last house on the block.
So what's the tally?
Let's see, 11 houses have Safe Touch security signs.
Okay, Safe Touch means we cross them off our list. What else?
6 houses with no security system signs, 1 with a ding-dong doorbell camera sign.
Ha, laughable.
Yeah, and 4 houses have big blue alarm signs.
Big blue alarm. You know, I still can't get over the fact that you can go online and buy one of their alarm signs for $25.
Wait, so you're saying there's a good chance that those big blue signs we saw are fake?
Well, not all of them. I'm sure some of them have actual alarm systems.
Huh. Well, one thing's for sure. When we see a Safe Touch sign, we know it's the real deal.
And that's just another reason we stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Is that on a bumper sticker yet?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses.